Iya, Cok.
It
Udah
should
mulai
be a
nih.
win for them, but the score has been extremely tight for PRX to find a convincing win here on Lotus.
Absolutely. This whole series, I'm looking at how PRX deal with Spring. He's
Mana lagi nih? Tapi gue nggak ada. Oh iya, kemarin kan ini. Gue streamnya pakai
these lurks, not letting Spring get away with the shenanigans he's been up to all tournament.
Yeah, and at the same time, you have to think of what Wolves have to care about. Something, if he gets on with that operator easily, they're going to have a very good chance of snowballing this defense.
That's the scary part, right? If he's able to get that op online, you need to shut him down. Otherwise, he will run roughshod all over you there.
He absolutely will. So much pressure for these Wolves players. The style that they play, that slow, structured Valorant. I think it befits staying calm in these situations, but GB, this is going to be a big one for them.
Oh yeah, Toronto! Are you ready for the upper bracket final? And let's go ahead and send it over to two of the greatest of all time on the mic. It's Pansy and Hypoc.
Thank you so much, GB and the desk. Yeah, Mike, I think we have to kind of touch on what the desk was talking about there. This stylistic head-to-head is something to be excited for.
And it is, yeah, it's almost, I mean, talking in the lead up to this, talking about similar play style, but actually PRX almost have the recipe to break apart what Wolves have kind of made the cornerstone of their playbook, right? This slow creeping default, looking for a gap somewhere. PRX are the team that time and time again are able to come up with ideas on the fly to really disrupt that sort of gameplay.
And again, for PRX, I feel like everyone's looking like they're the underdogs in this. Oh,
which is crazy, right?
Hey, do you not remember them in Champs Finals, yeah? They lost it. I mean, the perennial second place team, sure, but they are a grand finals quality team. They have to prove it once again today, up against probably the biggest Cinderella story run we've had in a long time.
I mean, poetic, right? Almost matching EG's run.
Very much so.
Could be the ones to gatekeep once more. Bit of presence shown outside C initially. Devi actually taking a ton of damage there. He's got to back away and respect this now. 22 HP. Not sure if it was confirmed on the side of Wolves, but certainly something to consider as the round progresses. He's actually relinquished all control here.
I mean, if it carries on in this fashion, Wolves have got a lovely beginning. And obviously for PRX, it looks like they want to try and clear some of those question marks. Work behind this. It's taken a lot of utility, though. See, the Paranoia went through, the Haunt went through. A lot of their kit got invested to clear that.
Big retake tools off the table here. Wolves rightfully so. Must have known that they found a point of weakness here, but why you tucked into a lurk? Does he get dug out? Forsaken, lazy clearance on the first hit. Jing, next one up.
Yeah, look. One was fine, the second's ridiculous. And now they've got a comfortable post plant. Remember all that utility that PRX put to clear out towards rubble. Now, not gonna have it. Gonna have to go back in, guns in hand. Nice from something, needs some more. A lot of bodies to clear just on the site. Wants to just cycle back up. See if that baby has got to. Oh, it's lovely from Wolves. A dreamy beginning. He's out of his chair. And a real statement of intent from Wolves here.
Convincing start to kick off Lotus, and these sort of set plays towards rubble are exactly what I'm talking about. When PRX try and find the timing. It's a massive investment. It looks a little clunky, sure, because they don't find anything, but has to dig out players like Spring, potentially Lysor, somebody trying to backfill that space. Actually, even this scenario, why you?
Yes.
They did try and dig him out, but it's a lazy clearance from Forsaken, and Jing just couldn't stand up to the task.
And I do want to kind of highlight something that was discussed earlier in the day, the fact that these at one point have been scrim partners too. Some real awareness between these two sides. So I'd love to see if we continue to see this, these gaps being found, these moments to potentially find ways to pressure each other. So looking at this purchase, plenty coming out for Wolves and a very light reinvestment here from PRX, so just that Sheriff for Divide. Otherwise, classics. And so far, you're going to be looking at Wolves going through the protocol list. Mike Wright, try and keep this clean. They can afford to lose Spring, but they probably wouldn't want to.
Sure. I mean, the riskiest rounds versus PRX are these anti-ecos. Spring, not good for the first here. Forsaken, redeeming himself from round one. Only a Sheriff recovered, though, so almost a calculated loss on the side of Wolves.
And again, it's huge information. You've seen maybe two, perhaps a couple more players over there. You're going to read that as a stack. And they've already got pretty much the green light and a very aggressive post-plant hold. They want to stake their claim in some area of this. Make it harder work for PRX. Make them invest a little bit more. I don't mind that at all, as long as they play together. It can get risky. Oh, you got to lock in on that one. Easy now, as we're in a 2v2 and Juicy's down low. This is the danger of PRX. You're never quite out of the woods. Forsaken, gonna get a nice little upgrade here too. Juicy's done really well, quite chilling. But Forsaken needs 4 to do this against me. Unreal, unreal, already. This sort of explosive play in the second round.
Like I said, there's always a threat in these anti-ecos for PRX. You play up against some smiles on the stage. A sigh of relief. Fat BB, ever the hero so far in Toronto.
Player standing.
Able to bail him out versus Forsaken. I mean,
you're a lucky boy there.
Very, very lucky. Come back into this now with a broken purchase. See what? Opportunity here for Spring to do some work with a scope. Outside of that, YU and Lysol just down on pistols. And expect Wolves to maybe try and pick up a kill here on the back of some PRX aggression.
I quite like the conditioning early on as well, Mike. It's been this kind of constant lead through towards C, a little bit of a default straight through middle, but they haven't really tested this A side. So again, if you're PRX, you're maybe starting to get a bit of a read into that as well, something you're going to start reacting to. Again, you look at the spread here so far, depending on just that Omen cycling those smokes. So a lot of pressure, but already re-clear comes in, doesn't quite catch YU towards middle, and Patman wants that information.
Alarmbot though from YU places up pretty deep. I think on the back of dealing with that, they're reading PRX rotating away, so there might just be a committed B here. So Patman will be called upon. Forced away by the utility. Actually, Juicy up close and personal. He's found a tag through the smoke there.
Oh, but Forsaken gets involved. Nice damage on the first, but a quick trade. The pressure now starting them out. The spike left loose. The PRX clearing out the B side.
Left.
Fat BB a little too late to the party here with 25 seconds. There's a firing squad around that corner. There's his Haunt in 10, but look at the timer. Difficult situation. And there it is, comfortable in the end, but PRX handled that well.
Fat BB positioned as the late round piece here. He's played out this because I'm sure Juicy was caught on the reload here.
Down B.
Really rough timing for him. Yeah, I mean, it's just nobody to, well, comfortably that can swing onto that angle, bail him out. Even there, I mean, Fat BB, another consolation potentially to find. But just didn't find it. Juicy already on the showstopper here, so going to see him fire the stinger into round 4. Expect too much of a pace shift here, but I mean, on the talking about early round protocols here, PRX dealing with the turret nice and early here. That's your set piece out. Juicy's been shut down.
Oh, what a lovely little play to bring out the back of contact. It's stunning, and it's rewarded them 2 kills. This is that evolution to PRX we love now getting to watch, right? It's not just that mechanical talent, that aggression. They have these little set pieces they like to run every now and then, and it wasn't overly complex. And that was a mistake What's that?
Cocok.
Catching them asleep at the wheel there, Mike. That's going to haunt them. And then an overstep. Unnecessary. This feels like a fumble, Mike. Now, it looks like Pac-Man might be the saving grace to this, though.
Lysol's read it.
Lysol has read it. Oh, and he's done with him. This is a fumble for Paper X and a gutting one because it was a brilliant start.
2 players caught sleeping, and the spike is there as well. All they needed to do was reinforce that hold. But Wolves able to dissect that setup just outside C.
30 seconds left.
Actually find themselves a plant here. Why you down 15 HP? Got the lockdown off this as well, you're right.
Okay, a little bit of util as well for YU, but it's Divide wading back through towards the site. Problem is there's utility in the way. Gonna find it tricky. Position now given away, and you can see Lysol should be the checkmate. There's that layer of util from YU. Isolated and alone. And a devastating mistake there from Paper X. Credit to Wolves for re-engaging, but they cannot be dropping the ball like that.
Was it the timing on the smoke? I mean, this is exactly the sort of thing I talked about before this map started. Paper X being aggressive, picking apart this slow default and look at control, but here, I mean, both players, smoke drops, yeah. I mean, that's just...
But both, yeah.
That is outrageous to see somebody caught off guard like that. On top of the box.
And John, insult to injury as well. They're up out there, see, they're giving it. You know that's the ones that are going to tilt you. But back in, Paper X have a very strong mental. They're not going to break off that. Alex might, but they won't. So Paper X needs to kind of reignite a little bit of that focus here. You can't get lazy in this. You've got to stay lethal. Something. Tries to do a little bit of early work, but can be warded away. And we've seen these slower defaults coming out from Wolves. Doing the diligent work, right? They've been doing what is necessary.
We even hear damage trade-off that come out on top. Weakens something. So the purchase not there for Paper X. And Prowler will force something even deeper here. Sent through. Juice is potentially going to be... Oh, actually, the TP comes across from Lysol, so I still have somebody to back him up initially. And actually, Lockdown invested here, fully respecting this anti-eco once again. They're aware of the threat. That previous round, yeah.
You've got to. I mean, Paper X, you said it right. Those are the sort of rounds that sometimes they look the scariest in almost. But for now, Wolves finding stability here in the post plant. They've still got to keep it in mind that there is danger. Plenty through Waterfall. 4-1 split on the retake now. Juicy turns attention. Smokes great from them. Laban on the spray.
Pac-Man's got 2.
Pac-Man has got 2. Maybe a chance. It feels like it's dwindling. These opportunities passing by for them, as it looks like 4-1 will be on the board. Not wait to see a timeout soon enough here, as something's on 1.
1 HP, man.
Gotta get locked in, as this has passed them by here. Silver lining, the best they can hope for as Wolves off to the ideal start, Mike. Look, I know all of us have been enjoying this Wolves run. I think most of us thought this is where it probably ends. But you could argue someone said that about Gen G too, but
yeah.
At 4-1, I'm paying attention.
I mean, I remember coming into that Gen G series thinking, if they can pull this off,
that's the one.
because they still effectively had a lifeline in terms of dropping. There's no elimination on the line. And even here now, it would be such a big sigh of relief to escape that once more.
Now use them.
4-1 to kick off Lotus here. Paper X. You don't ever really humble Paper X. They will continue pressuring like this. Odin investment here from Forsaken though may lead you to believe it's a slower round. TP's actually stuck here. Lysol bold in approach.
And that was pinged so quickly as well. It looked like so aware of this, and whatever the set plan was, feels like Paper X read that.
Well, I think it's on the back of seeing 2 or 3 bodies swing out from B there that maybe they feel like the extremity is going to be the weakest side of the hold, but Forsaken shuts that down.
Certainly not, but a 3v5, I want to see discipline from Paper X here. I don't want to see fumbles. I don't want to see mistakes.
Great isolation.
It certainly was. Now, Forsaken is going to do some good chip damage as well. Look at See If That Baby down on only 26. Spring's position given away. Look where the spot. Oh! What is that? Ridiculous. And a 2v3 is not impossible. So they are just gunning it, right? They are running their little legs off straight towards C. They're going to leave one behind. YU.
Actually, the tap of the spikes. Drawn out the ultimate from Divide.
I mean,
Nightfall
Waduh,
Halo Pak.
Waduh, kayaknya
really
lihat joget lagi kayaknya deh.
Joget apa ya? Bentar, Pak.
Kayaknya oh ya.
Belum, Pak.
Nggak boleh gitu ya, nggak boleh gitu ya, nggak boleh gitu ya.
Shining.
And the composure as well. Don't overinvest in this early round aggression.
Joget sih kayaknya. Ada Alek ya?
Peel
Apa siapa tuh? Ada
really
Adit.
quickly, and credit to Forsaken. I think
Karena Adit.
potentially something.
Bola nggak menarik Adit
There was
tuh.
a couple of people charging out, like you said,
Nah,
instantly pinged.
Adit, mana sih?
Again, you can't really fault
Sampai jam berapa nih,
the
Bang, live-nya?
approach here, but
Sampai pagi.
bold to stick a
Sampai
TP
subuh.
into the back lines.
Lu mau nyampe jam berapa dah?
I like seeing
Yeah,
those
lu nyampe
fundamentals
berapa dah?
come together for PRX though,
Set up lu
right?
bagus sih.
Doubling up, even in that chaos of potential plant
Nggak usah untuk dipikirin ulang ya.
They still stay very close. And credit to Divide. I know it's only one kill, but him catching YU basically keeps them safe. Otherwise, it's this kill right here from Divide. I find that to be the most imperative of them all. Very heads up work. Maybe feeling they would try to have left a player behind, inserted a player.
他站起来。
Still not fussed though, apparently. Still chilling.
I mean, you've got to be happy leading 4-2 here.
Yeah.
On the attacking side as well. Back to the drawing board.
Bang Monyong ya, Bang Monyong ya.
Well, it's close to a full purchase here. It's Lysol down on the Guardian. Wolves.
Ja, lu
Forsaken.
cool banget sih, Ja, di live.
Actually tagged up there. I'm not sure if he's actually confirmed
Cool
any
banget
damage
di
on
live, diem ya.
the side of
Joget-joget dong.
Wolves.
Joget-joget ya.
Activity once more as well, and
Ya, lu.
active clearance out past Mound.
Tahu Ja.
This could be nasty. Actually sees. And the
Bawa deh, bawa, bawa.
Sheriff's Jay gets out to
It's a 2 for 2.
How the hell did they get two back?
Nah, ini gue lihat.
Could say almost
Tunggu, Pak.
favouring PRX in that regard, but something
Merah-merah PDIP.
Oh, angles
Aduh,
like that,
tolong.
this man hits those shots. Mechanically sharp as ever. Trying to read what they wanted.
Tembakan lu tuh on
Similar
point.
scenes to before though. CFAT TV and YU. Trying to work the map here. 2v3.
Ada mulu iklan.
Kalau ada suara knalpot lewat,
Aman.
aman ya.
Tetap warung.
Iklan juga iklan. Iklan Yamaha.
Interesting.
Iya.
Okay, that's. I mean, they're playing such high risk, Mike. It scares the life out of me sometimes. 20 seconds and a 1v2 Divine and Forsaken. Where are we off to now? 14 seconds. His options are so limited.
10 seconds left.
They're both here.
Punya kurang ya.
Surely not. Yeah, he's got to go for it. No chance. Well handled by PRX, closing in on the
Wow,
scoreline.
biar seru aja, Pak.
Well, look
It's
for that
right there.
composure again, building up a little bit of a cushion in terms of the finances.
Yeah.
That's where you look towards
Ketinggal 8 juga, nguber.
sloppy kills towards the end of the round. Again, Jing
30 seconds
finding
left.
2 here to open.
One
Beautiful
enemy
little trap piece outside B. Wolves actually going to be the ones to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm out round 8 again. Decent sample size, I guess, already in the first half here. Maybe a little bit of an adjustment towards the latter rounds. See, no purchase going to be available here for Wolves, so ideally looking towards round 9 here in terms of any game plan adjustment. I guess actually in that regard, the first time PRX have really been able to catch their breath.
It has been kind of in their face. Credit to PRX for being able to learn on the fly. Again, this kind of like 6th and 7th round, obviously, have been the ones to give them the stability here. But I do want to see what the reaction is from Wolves. Again, it does feel like that almost no-go zone once you've got that Odin spam coming down. It's not as lethal as it could be. I mean, if you throw in a Viper with it, right? We've seen what that can do. But still, as it stands, it's kind of cut off those options towards A. It feels like kind of pressuring back towards B, those C hits. But it's the re-aggresses from PRX. Very
Lucu
little
terus.
fear, even in those high-risk scenarios. We're a bit more used to it, I guess, at this point. And so will
Lucu
they be.
terus.
A 3 to 4. Just Sheriffs. And a couple of classics.
I mean,
Plenty of ults.
bigger picture-wise, both of these teams have so many reps this year on Lotus. I think it's 14 for PRX and 11 or 12 for Wolves.
Yeah.
So even here on the attacking half, I mean, if you come out with A lead, doesn't matter what it is, you've got to feel really good about yourself. So we'll have to ride this out on a Handful of sheriffs. Something going to tuck himself in between these smokes.
Oh, it's nasty. And Divide drawing all eyes on him. It is only pistols, but it's
Nice,
Divide. Sorry, something. You don't even get to play. Easily done.
Goblok ya.
Happy with that. Confidence build there.
Emang skemanya
Set
gitu.
here in between ahead of this buy round, and actually, we'll have the pit. Fat BB has his ultimate. Juicy just one away as well. Didn't even need the second piece of this setup.
Udah 3 berarti kita dia.
One enemy remaining.
Building some confidence here. Bit of a Cobra round for Divide. He's actually leading.
Di beta dia.
Order 10 and 4, an early 3K, I believe, in one of the rounds.
Ooh, look at this stack. They're in the right place here, Mike. How far do PRX go in this? Deep flash. Look at this outrageous approach. Oh, it's been
Wait, what?
absolutely red. Jin gets backhanded there, and they couldn't close down on any of the kills.
I mean, 2 pings on the reveal. Not sure how much that box just sponged.
Sebenarnya kelihatan dari.
But no damage.
Face your fear.
Coming through, it's only really Fat BB who's taking a hit here down to 35 HP. Nightfall might actually be a bit of a red herring.
How much can Batman be expected to do here? That's a huge ult as well, right?
Has to basically hit the
And
panic
Forsaken,
button.
wait, Forsaken! Oh, they read it
demen
so
banget.
smart.
Demen.
As soon as that Nightfall caught how many? 4 players? Instantly went for it. Now, not to be, Wolves 2 heads up for that. And the dust hasn't even settled, really. But the rotations are here. Divi's back over.
Sudah buat
Solid
cek
before this
belum?
nice high-low
Udah masuk.
setup. Be very difficult to
Enggak.
break.
WA coba G.
One not
5
there,
menit lagi
paranoia
kalian.
ready,
Berat.
there it is.
WA.
Forces them off. Spring, they
WA
seem
dari gua.
so prepared for these holds.
Wah.
They've seen Batman as well. Position now
30
given,
seconds
and
left.
look at
Wah,
why
Well,
you.
he's got so much space to play
God,
into.
his lurk is so nasty. And at this point, they want to pivot. They want to go back towards B. It does put in towards something's hand. Spring. It's gorgeous from Spring.
Ya elah.
Lurks on lurks, but
Arma.
something still stands. Caught in between a rock and a hard place. Where do they go? Back towards C. Safety on that
10
C
seconds.
side.
Dia Mar, nih
You
gua
don't
mau menang nih,
fancy
Mar.
walking
Sabar
into
ya.
something like this. So the plant's in, and he's left in a
Menang.
1v4.
Joget nanti lu.
Make an honest go of this here. You
Wah,
can see
siap.
Joget,
on the X-ray.
Siap joget dia.
Why are you already
Joget.
wrapping him? He's got a turret here to
Gue bakal
contact
joget
off as well. Might
more
even
longer than
just
before.
put something in the back of the head. No,
Goblok.
we'll get the sound cue regardless. I think now relaying that information. Yeah, comes through.
God, his positioning.
Yeah, this is just, again, probably sitting back and watching this, Alex, not going to be happy about this spray into the smoke with the odd. It's begging somebody to
Someone.
walk on it.
Yep.
And Spring just
Tembok.
comes alive.
And it feels like this was a whole book in one round, right? Chapter by chapter, at this beginning, the box
Ini kan round
apparently
terakhir,
being
kan?
on Wolves' side. And then you had the TP coming in, you had the Nightfall
Tahu
coming
apa
up.
sih,
This
Mar?
all happened. All of
Lu
this
tahu
in
apa
the
sih,
same
Mar?
round. And again, that paranoid being just
Gua lihat
tilted up,
dari
it felt like they were so aware. There's the walk on
Depends on a reload.
Salah ya gitu.
It's a Forsaken fully committed towards that. They're both spamming it.
Eh,
I
Tom,
mean, there's
temannya mabuk tuh.
opportunity to potentially bait into that. One person sprays, but something
Katanya round terakhir.
creepy around 10.
Katanya ronde terakhir.
timeout seeming to work well,
Gokil,
at
ya.
least for these
Iya,
Ini
tahu
siapa
apa sih?
berapa round?
early couple of
Asumsinya.
exchanges, right?
Salah
Something
begitu.
you want of
Sama
space
nama
and play
orang-orang yang main
forward
game
bounds
lain
fine,
aja,
but
coba.
You've started to see how Wolves are approaching this.
You never see PRX really relent in that
No,
regard.
no.
They will continue, and that's where they catch teams off guard, where it's like, yeah, your aggression
Surely
hasn't
now.
worked 4 rounds in a row. No, we're coming again, don't worry.
That fifth
Itu apa
time, it'll work.
gulp-gulpin itu?
And now we're seeing a bit of a tempo switch up from Wolves too. Very, very slow. Holding him, waiting for that re-aggress, which is coming. And
Wow.
again, they're so prepared, Mike.
Koser udah
They've got the
ini.
PRX playbook and they understand it well. Still got to handle the players on the other side. Great shot from Batman, but it's traded. And the numbers simply so
Berat
advantageous.
ini.
A quick rotate off the back of once again, why you space.
It's always the one to backfill these sort of plays.
Sebenarnya,
Ooh, tricky.
iya.
Still not easy on this though, is it?
Skillnya itu sebenarnya memang apa ya? Enggak buat
Oh, a shot!
Sabar.
How is
Tik
that
kenapa?
fair?
Sabar, ntar dulu, Mar.
Yaudah,
But look at once again, if you don't see him on the site, you know where to be
Nanti
looking. Slow and steady, he herds them closer. They need a plant though, 17 seconds, and YU on his walkabout. Divide dead!
Ya mampus lu, mati lu anjing.
Forsaken could speed up here. Punish the plant, but no, can't quite catch him!
Joget.
Beautiful mid-rounding here, Mike. This is
Pemanasan dulu kali, Pak.
Oh, for
Dari sekarang,
this
Pak.
exchange is beautiful
Yoi.
to just watch from the minimap. YU threading the
Ntar
needle
kalau
once
dapet
more.
8 gue perenggangan kaki.
Wah anjing itu sih.
That's how it gets found. But again, it's similar thing. Paper X, they lose one, they stack up three to actively re-clear that space. And ultimately, again, it feels like it's their demise in this round because of YU now sitting at 11 and 5, leading the Port for Wolves.
Nomornya Rakel kecil ya.
Almost the execution of getting plenty of shot to the back of the head.
Oh yeah.
Susah untuk didengar.
And it was impressive. Again, this kind of, it feels like it came out of that timeout as well. They've clearly got a game plan in mind of how they wanted to approach this. And it's
Yeah, I mean, because they're reading it perfectly. Again, this scenario, First Blood comes through, they know Paper X are going to re-clear. So there's going to be one, potentially two other lanes on the map that are totally open for YU to walk into.
It's very impressive to watch because Paper X are a really hard to handle team. You only have to look at the names they've taken down to get to this point, right? It makes perfect sense. Liquid, Sen, G2. I mean, they're a dangerous team. You know, if you want to you talk about, these kind of, intelligent teams, they play that, good quote-unquote Valorant. They've fallen for this, but Wolves have come in very prepared. Maybe just, very, very ready for what Paper X like, understand their tendencies.
Prepared, yes, but actually refining some of the things that we've seen them adapt here in Toronto, which is actually what's so refreshing to see, again, on a dream run like this, an underdog dark horse, actually improving game by game. Upsets along the way, sure, but actually showing they've got their head screwed on.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Now for Paper X, though, once again you kind of go into the archives, right?
Gitu ya,
Someone likes
tariknya.
to look at these guys as underdogs. They've had to rebuild. That is true. Bringing in Patman was fantastic. It worked. We've all seen the difference in their playstyle as of late. They're starting to look much
Maju
better.
aja,
overall.
maju. Kalau kataku.
These guys have sat in finals. These guys have
Dari
been in
sayap-sayapin
champions
kepala.
finals. They know what this sort of pressure's like. They are never going to be the underdogs in my mind. They're too talented for it. So as it stands, they need to adapt here.
Just look what's happened here as well. Paper X have already drawn a player across. I mean, Divine now reconsidering, but Spring looking to pressure up towards Tree. Divine again, counter three, almost caught one here. YU now, again, shows presence on the other side. So Ice Wars a minimap, look what happens. Immediately Paper X looking to isolate the weaker side of this default, but they pick up the pace towards A.
I like the intention, actually, I really do. But the problem is the stall out's fantastic from Paper X.
Itu dia.
Denying that space being taken freely. They're here quickly, probably ult from something. Information galore in 25 seconds. We are now at pressure stations. Forsaken down on 30. Has to respect the paint shell. A spray through the smoke here doesn't land, but something's does. They're dwindling in numbers. Super, BD and Spring, the last two standing, and they are cornered here. This adjustment from Paper X. They worked it so well.
Now that is a beautiful recovery. Seeing what happened elsewhere. It was paranoia, showstopper, so much thrown towards YU. And in that situation, Wolves just kind of need to go, 1 for 2 in terms of approaching A site. They do that. Paper X still come back.
This is really nice of Paper X. Again, even seeing that disciplined start to an extent, right? That dose of discipline at the beginning, the second contact's made.
A sprinkle of discipline.
As much as we're going to get. That's as much as we're going to get. But honestly, I like that though. And again, those quick rotations, starting to read what Wolves are doing, identifying YU where he was. And yeah, the trap was there, but even those rotations coming in so quick. Back into the mix of things. A buy for both sides, still lacking for some areas on Paper X's side. You're going to see that Guardian still in the hands of Divide. And a stack up from Wolves. And on the other side, Forsaken, not too far, a clear towards Mound, and a wanted punish. You can see they're starting to read this, maybe Mound, pressure, trying to maybe toy with those expectations off of that fade utility.
They kind of know Forsaken's the key stakeholder in terms of those set pieces outside C. Try to shut him down here. Again, beautiful read or assessment, I guess, of the previous situation.
And some people may look at these two teams and see them as just those mechanical monsters, but this is a really cerebral game so far.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Seeing these rotations on rotations, these adjustments. Oh, Spring almost. And now a moment of quiet here.
That could slow things down potentially.
Yeah, they're not able to kind of pre-take, I guess. Kwan's going to come in. Now this should encourage movement here. Just going to kind of eat the Prowler. Still close range, still able to use the shorty just fine. Weapon's not right and the Knight's not ready. So a 3v3 in the post. Look at the position from YU. That is, excuse me, coming in from CFAT BB. He is still on the way, but they still got to slow things down. YU does well. Lightsaw still has to hold ground here, and now the silence becomes deafening. The position becomes questioned. They don't know where he is, but they're going to hazard a guess. CFAT BB does well on one. Draws to fire off the defuse. Just needs to keep his cool here.
Mainin.
Everything for him, trying to play to the time, play to the tempo, play to the clock, and play him like a phantom.
Mainin. Nah, itu dia. Mantap.
This guy time
Gitu ya, Tom, ya,
and time
caranya.
again looks so composed
Gitu ya.
in the clutch. It closes out a 7-5 half here, Lauren. Fantastic stuff from Wolves.
This has been an exceptional game so far. Just brilliant from both sides. And again, on surface, you may have thought, it's not going to be this, really cerebral matchup. This has been a wondrous affair.
It really has. That's any sort of taster here towards the second half. Don't go anywhere, we'll find out very
Yeah,
shortly.
we will, because we do have a bit of a treat as well coming up. We do have the one and only Mixwell standing by for us. So that'll be what we're going to in just a second. So I can't wait to hear from him. He's been in these scenarios. Let's see how that feels from the other side.
Well, one of the
Jauh,
perks of being here live during finals weekend is being able to run into legends such as Mixwell, who's co-streaming here from the venue now. Welcome back to Canada. You've been here before. What do you think about the crowd so far?
I think the crowd is one of the loudest I've ever seen. To be honest, I travel to a lot of tournaments in VCT, so they are doing a great job.
Yeah, it's very exciting to be among them now. You have a little bet when it comes to Wolves. Can you explain it to everybody what happens if Wolves win this event?
I wasn't familiar with their game. At the start of the tournament, I said that if Wolves wins the event, I'm gonna go bold. So now I'm afraid I need PRX to win today, please.
Toronto, what are the chances do you think of him going bold? Come on, are Wolves going to win this event? Oh, it's not looking good for you, Mixwell. It's not looking good. Now, some of the players on stage, we've really seen their personalities. Sufa, BB, they're on their feet. They're hyping up the crowd. As a former player who also enjoys that atmosphere, how important is it to have that hype man on your team?
I think it's really important, especially when they are down. Some games, Wolves were down and Sufa brought Juicy back, for example. And I think it's crucial. I think that you have to play with the crowd. You have to enjoy the moment. You have to be in the moment. And Wolves, especially, they are enjoying it a lot. And a lot of people want to cheer for them as well because of that energy. And now I like them. Even though I might go bold, I like them.
All right, we shall see. I hope you do go bold at the end of this event. Thank you very much for joining me. And let's see if PRX can maybe save him in the second half.
The one thing I will absolutely agree with is this crowd has been amazing. For both teams as well.
But the second thing I will say is actually referencing back something we were talking about in the cast the other day. We do see the econ report here from Coinbase. Again, very evenly contested first half here. YU the ones to really pull ahead here for Wolves, but also Dubai on the other side of things. But just to come back to that same point, again, the resilience. Juicy the other day, an absolute stinker of a first half.
Yeah, really struggled.
But again, the vibes never changed on stage. You could see maybe hints of frustration coming through, but that's where players like Sufan BB really pay dividends in terms of a team's mental.
I mean, we talk about the sixth man, right? Being that crowd behind you to get you back going.
You almost need a conductor actually from the stage to be able to actually channel that back into getting a team back online. And Wolves certainly have tapped into that here in Toronto.
All right, PRX now on the attack.
Terus tahu nggak kenapa nggak boleh masuk kalau belum siap?
A big player in big games too. Don't forget what this man can do. 3 pivotal kills. A stark reminder of who PRX can be.
We dictate the pace now. You can't sit back in the default. We'll bring the fight to you. Now, YU in Spring. Well, just YU left now in a 1v5. An ace needed. The Jing gonna shut down any hope of recovery. Kicking off the second half with a flawless round victory.
And you're right, I think what you said
Gitu, Pak.
Controlling that
Iya.
tempo, making their fights their own.
On point buat.
Hard to handle on all occasions.
Itu dia.
Halo Is. Is. Harus ada lu ini Is. Is. Kota aman
PRX
Is.
are gonna dial into that.
Kuota
That's really, I guess, the
Gas Is. Kita menonton Is.
Vastus
Kita
before
gaskan Is.
Wolves
Mata aman nggak mata?
Mata.
kind of
Baru bangun nih,
stabilize a
baru
little
bangun.
bit in the second half and
Berbangun ya, aman berarti.
really get to grips
Tapi
with
jangan
what their
salah
opponent's
loh,
gonna try
idling
and
stopnya
achieve here is
ngalah-ngalahin
again,
Honda ya.
no secrets on the way in from PRX.
Wah, anjir lepas kok.
Stack misplaced here, so
Retake kan mereka.
second successful
Yang retake sih.
approach towards
Yang
A,
retake pada maksud gua.
hopefully.
Yep.
Bisa
And
lagi,
I
bisa lagi.
again, look towards Dubai here, 2 away from his ult so early on. I mean, that could be there for the bonus, right? Huge.
Balas aja nih.
It was like, yeah, his third
Kelar aja ya, pramugari berarti.
One
the
off
map
now.
so far.
That's brilliant. Massive for the attack inside. That could be
Lucu terus
lovely
sih.
for them to have in the back pocket. Something that Wolves will
Yeah,
have to deal with.
coming to your first buy round to have that ultimate available is brutal. Wow,
Guys,
A response found.
easy, Tiger. We shouldn't get more dangerous than
Ya,
this.
tambah.
Gak inget.
Kalah sama klasik lagi.
Bapak so.
Stop it. Stop
Slack,
it.
babi.
Jing and Forsaken
Sorry.
keep this in control. Stop it. What is going on? Forsaken.
Allahu Akbar.
Forsaken, surely you think they're safe.
Belum.
Pedaling away, trying to play
Coy,
with the time now.
Ini
This has
sih,
never been
ini
this
sih tolol ya.
to the big
Goblok.
That's got way
Men, ini sih tolol ya.
Come down to a Red Bull clutch here.
Udah bang, nggak usah beli
One
senjata bang.
rifle
Beli air
retained.
minum aja. Beli Red Bull.
Now you're almost relying on Devi's ult to be the turning point here. But PRX are able to get the purchase together. Jing, yeah, well, judge, but
Enggak ke backup
I
aja.
saw finding so much value here.
Itu juga tadi.
Jing,
Tinggal mati kalau gitu.
Info detik.
blood pressure check
Atau 39.
required for
Yeah.
Alex.
Dulu
We'll
berapa
get the
Is?
heart rate monitors out next time. Now, again,
1-2
keep in mind they do have
1-2
Devi's
sekarang.
ult here. So this is something you
Gila.
want to see them build around.
Refresh.
Pak Ai sudah di masa depan men.
5v5 in the post.
Sketchy timing on this. And it looks like something wants to try and hold this back. They're willing to try and brawl on the site. They're not sitting deep at all here. Something wants to draw blood. PRX still standing by. Oh, it's messy. And now there's an opportunity. PRX though, banking on Jin. You know he'll give you a couple
Apaan
here.
tuh?
Beautiful from now
Dan
down in the 1v2. Incredibly difficult for Sufat BB again. What's gonna happen? Jin's got that
Gila.
one.
The tempo shift here on the half. Certainly suiting PRX. Now one to the good, 8-7 the scoreline. Get this judge up close and personal. Jing 4 on the round for him. Good progress towards the showstopper as well. Potentially not
lucu
shoot.
terus. Ai.
Let's have that for the next buy round here.
Sebel.
Down on a bit of a Shiko. No ultimates to their name. I mean, Fat BB the closest, and well, actually, Lysort one away from the TP, but not necessarily too impactful.
Okay. And that's a recoverable weapon. No one else is here. So the game should be given away to an extent. Obviously now, the hit being noted by YU. Trying to buy time, but it's hard to hold this back, right? It's a flood of players.
Bakal berarti ya nembak-nembaknya.
Nobody was watching, don't worry. We didn't see it.
Yeah,
We didn't see it.
All good.
Started step man.
PRX though got to steady the ship here. Can still get a little bit scary. And now Juicy does have that Vandal, right? Can they play him in? The post plant is purely on the site itself, Mike. There isn't anyone sitting deep.
Well, I mean, he's got 4 sheriffs basically to rally behind
Aku
him
mar
and try and
goblok.
make this
Ya
one
mar
work.
berkata kasar men.
Wah, parah.
Gila.
Gonna have to do work here. See if BB does well. Divide them.
Wah, edan rata anjing. Rata anjing es anjing.
And he just had a hell of a lot of impact.
What a play, uncle.
blink and you miss it.
Anjing.
One of the quickest aces I think we've probably ever seen.
Look at this.
Nice banget.
And they needed him. They needed this. It was all going wrong.
Itu muka nggak senyum ya?
Oh,
That is
Kasihnya
just
mah
magic.
senyum lebar.
beautiful to watch back.
Aslinya jago dulu ya.
Iya.
He's going through it.
They're getting close, Wolves, right? They're getting close on these rounds, getting a little bit scary. But the scoreline looking good for PRX. 9-7, a bye back in hand for Wolves, though. They have to stop the rot fast.
Iya dia.
This could be
Iya ini.
the round to find that response. Back to you, Fat BB's ultimate. This time around, obviously retrieve the orb outside C. There is a bit of a gap here with Forsaken, the solo anchor towards A. Obviously, possibility here.
Hanya
Batman and second player actually to come across fairly quickly, but
Well, here comes the test. Batman. Don't know if that's going to reach. It does, so Lysol will be noted. Draws the paranoia. Okay, counter on counter. They can't hear a thing here. Divide, though, unaffected, unfazed. 35 seconds, getting close now. The paranoia burnt early, and Lysol needs to be ready. This is a lot of pressure coming his way. You're going to hear the ults coming out to secure the plant, but Lysol still does the damage. Can't do the dance, though, with Forsaken. And that's a beautiful catch from Team Fat BB, punishing Jing on the push-up. And now the plant gets hindered. Problems down mountain. Spring at the door, and now it's just on Defy. Position noted earlier, they should be aware. But this man's dangerous, but not today. Spring's got his number. And Wolves back within touching
Itu
distance.
dia. Gitu ya.
so we needed them to find a response here. They finally stopped that string of rounds. Getting costly here on both sides. The showstopper shut down here from Jing, desperate to try and convert.
Ini mapnya siapa nih?
PRX.
It's broken the money from PRX too.
Yeah, it has,
See
yeah,
how
I mean,
close
it's-
these rounds have been.
It's not necessarily been a walk in the park for that string of rounds, but Jing looking to put this rifle to work. Start of round 18.
He's had a feel-good round not too long ago.
Oh, look at that. TTP sets up!
So sick! You think Wolves are just another team? They're certainly not very ready for what PRX wants to bring. Forsaken picking up what feels like a cursed rifle at this point. Just dropping hand to hand. Divided well last time in a scenario not too dissimilar to this, but not be able to get it this time. Yeah, handled. Wolves fully
Itu ya,
ready.
teman-teman ya.
Something
Itu caranya ya.
into a blender. Was it both nanos actually into that
Kinda
corner?
looked
The
like
alarm bot was there as well.
Yeah,
Obviously the vulnerable taking effect.
Jangan dibuang, kocak.
second time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the second is here.
No escape,
Itu Roja yang
really.
di rumah lu apa lu yang di rumah Roja?
And that's yeah. I mean,
Kenapa?
yeah, Jing's forced into the line of
Roja
sight
yang di
as well.
rumah lu
So,
apa
Rumah
lu yang di
gua. Rumah Roja, rumah Roja.
great little setup here
Oh,
Iya, rumah lu.
from Wolves will actually get
Rumahnya Roja di mana?
round. Force a timeout as well from PRX. So we'll be
Tactical timeout.
required to stand on their own 2 feet now for the remainder. 9-9 the scoreline.
I just keep thinking, oh, okay, PRX
Enak
back
aja.
to 4 in the row. You start to have Jing popping off. You've had Divide doing,
Bikin ini
acing
kok.
out.
Bikin mewing ya kok.
Good. But then these last two, Wolves never feel like they look like they're under pressure.
Halo Rels.
It's always possible with them. That nice little setup, the last 2 rounds, very considered.
Find themselves in a really good position actually here in terms of defensive ultimates. They got 1 away from the lockdown. Springs 1 off the pit.
Oh, true, yeah.
2 more for Juicy to find the showstopper. I mean, yes, options on the side of PRX, but in terms of this defensive ult cycle, they feel really, really good about themselves.
Bobo main
And
apa
even with
Bobo?
that string of rounds now, look at what's in the bank for
Udah
PRX.
mulai libur ya?
What's behind this
Udah pada
purchase?
libur nggak sih tapi?
I even hear a broken purchase if you look at some of the shields.
udah.
Semangat Rels, semoga hasilnya
This feels tense though, 'cause this was the one from the timeout, right? This one with the plan in mind for PRX.
Amar emang
Last check
mereka
with the
kecil ya.
coaching staff unless we get OT.
Wolves getting a little active here
Gila,
as well.
sekarang
So,
bukan
Off the back
didengar
of
tuh.
timeout, why not? Traditional
Terlalu
reaction.
kecil.
PRX
Terlalu
aware.
kecil.
Something.
Makanya
Tahu rakyat kecil men.
gila.
You may think there's one. Will he expect all three? Quick enough to find one. Great paranoia from Forsaken as well. Do they try and go on the hunt from this?
Gila.
Oh, the TP's lovely. Big investment on that, but I like the idea behind it, taking a lot of space. But look at towards the side. Yeah, Juicy still
What?
standing here, pops the ult,
Iya.
plays it well.
Gede, lempar bang. Nah, itu dia bang.
He can't get away.
Ajar bang. Satu lagi bang.
Well, back to life before from CUB,
Patin, Bang.
and now he's standing on his own 2 feet. Divide left.
Ini lu gue bayar
All
200.000 buat
on his own.
ambil gas gue mah kalau gue di tempat lu mah.
Surrounded, and he doesn't even know it.
Gue datang sebagai abang
You
lu.
thought that TP might have cut right through him, it didn't. The Wolves still standing together, fighting together. Divide does what he can, putting up a stand. The Wolves taking the lead.
Apa tuh? Oh, dia udah nonton.
executed to perfection here. Get a crucial trade from Juicy, but then to find the second, the showstopper comes through. That's splash damage. I can't believe that even catches on Jing.
Damkar.
Outrageous scenes here.
Damkar nggak sesantai itu sih buat.
Are you starting to believe
Pak,
now?
bilangin
The
damkar
way
lu
this
mah,
all
ayo.
started.
Bilangin. Nggak boleh gitu ya. Lo ngaco lo.
The Wolves
Ngaco.
Lo punya pikiran kayak gitu sih.
proving they are lethal
Nggak
about
beres.
their business. So we go again. Money not looking good for PRX. It's Stingers. It's a Sheriff. It's a Bulldog.
Batman emang gila ya, bisa kemarin aja nyangkut di tali anjing.
All together from the
mana
bargain bin basically here.
Tali tengah itu.
Can they make something with it?
Hingga di
Got the chip on the way. Position now noted. Super BB on the site here. Got C's and his Prowlers, but they are fast to his lights all caught sleeping. Not expecting the pace. Juicy, a wild play through the smoke. Gonna find two, but Spring's now here. It gets a bit messy, but it's working out at least for now in Wolves' side.
Not great here for Pac-Man though.
Oh, do you really go for that? No.
He certainly doesn't feel safe to just stick the plant out, so they're waiting for something. Does have the ultimate here, but again, the 2v3 doesn't feel good.
And that chip on Pac-Man 2, they're starting to feel it. Something's going to have to go nuclear. Try and save the day, but none of these fights, these engagements are fair for him. YU does well, leaving Pac-Man with 21 HP, and not a prayer to be had. Wolves again now, round by round, taking this away from PRX.
They hit 11 here. This is
Berapa itu coba bacain?
getting
berapa
into
itu?
really awkward territory now.
11, 11.
You can see this is
Oh, gitu.
effectively a
gitu ya.
full
Gimana
here.
ya?
Ultimate
Susah sih.
plenty. Talking about some of those defensive
Masih jauh,
options here
Tom.
for Wolves.
Jauh.
Asen mereka harus ada keajaiban.
How
Merek
it lies here for
di
PRX.
Asen.
Take up the lion's share. Obviously,
Asen,
the round loss
ini,
bonus is going to be a consideration, but
Bot house ada bot house.
could potentially
Yang
face
ada
Wolves here
tutupan,
on map
ada
point
trap-
on a
ada
broken
door.
buy.
Ini
PRX is
sama
map
market.
choice.
Yeah.
Yang ada apa Mar? Kata lu Mar tadi
It
Mar?
all starts to compound here, but they're not there yet. 4 in a row, unanswered.
Bang Raja kali.
Money
Mar.
looking
Bang Raja
solid.
kali.
We're gonna need a PRX
Rame.
round. Gonna need someone to step up, and it looks like something wants to try and trailblaze his way forward. Good info,
Ada info, ada
Two
dua,
spotted.
ada A.
and the rest now filling behind that.
So whether or not they were trying to set up for potentially a paranoia there.
Oh, the paranoia was fine on one, but it was quite juicy. Still standing, still breathing. Forsaken gonna
Waduh.
find the trade out towards Lights or nice
Waduh,
from
patah,
PRX,
Cok.
unwilling to relent on the site now.
Wah,
Spring and what? Oh my God, what a shot! Couldn't get the second. Forsaken wants this. YU, a
Hold,
1v3.
Calm down guys, calm down.
This
calm
would be
down.
something special. But a lifeline for PRX. Jump spot towards street, that's from Divide. Time's been bought. Couldn't get the punish fast enough. Now they know the position. The cross
Udah tahu posisi
should
kan,
be the
udah,
death of
jagain situ
YU.
angle-nya, jangan.
I say should. Yeah, they're not giving him an in chip. Very well handled by PRX in the end. They had to keep their cool there.
Almost a lifeline here in terms of the bigger picture. Brings it within one. not allowing Wolves to really sit back on their laurels and rely on these ultimates. Getting so sloppy on that first kill. The paranoia almost setting things in motion, but Forsaken just
Heroics there.
yeah, just absolutely bulldozing his way onto site.
Those were your last words.
Wolves at late timeout in the half in the match. Round 22. Comfortable financially. So he's still got those ultimates actually building back towards Gypsy and almost a stacked deck here in terms of this cycle.
Yeah, it starts looking a bit scary, and that Jing's 2 away from his. Forsaken 1 off and 2 away from Patman's, but as I said, this feels like we're getting really...
Well, yeah, and again, you think about it as well, if you don't invest these ultimates early on, you never really get a clean 5v5 retake versus PRX, because they'll find a plant, but they'll also, more often than not, push towards spawn, try and find a kill, weaken that setup. So Wolves do have any kind of set pieces around these ultimates. You're really looking towards Spring and YU to mitigate that risk and sit deep enough.
Gak masuk tau suaranya.
Emang iya nggak masuk?
Ya noise cancellation lu.
Rely on it too
Kalau
much,
di YouTube
but
nggak tahu gua. Masuk apa nggak tahu.
PRX, they're a team that
iya,
reads into that sort of thing.
Harusnya
so
sih udah
well.
gua turunin soalnya ininya. Udah gua.
I'm probably going to see a paint shell. I imagine maybe a C's perhaps, who knows, but...
Siapa Dit?
The way that PRX want to pass.
Well, first time actually the stars aligned for a fight towards
Udah jadi balap lu, Dit.
God, this could be right off the rip.
Emang lu kenal
Here
mah?
we go. Already paint shell comes in. C's not going to find it, but the reveal is fantastic. Juicy going to go down. Forsaken doubling in. This is lovely from them. See if it maybe does answer back in kind, but PRX aren't stopping. They want the site. And it, beautifully done. Yeah, that's stunning. Almost singular in approach, just banking on themselves.
I mean, what plant coming through with 120 left on the clock? It's a haymaker thrown from PRX and it lands once more. Similar to those early rounds we did see in the second half.
This shouldn't be possible. A 1v3. It shouldn't be possible, and it isn't. Something in the end to add the full stop to that sentence. But it is 11-11. Like, PRX have found what they needed. But it's getting close here. Money still in place for Wolves. And you're looking at those ults, they become such a heavy factor, but this reveal was everything.
Lysor, unfortunately, still in the committed position. Fat BB, unfortunately, I guess, just caught off guard by the flash. Tried to turn it, but even so, you've got 2-3 more members of PRX staring you down. PRX maybe feel as if they found the recipe here. Slower approach this time around. No resistance shown early on, at least, from Wolves.
Please.
So this is both YU and Spring, though. Spring's going to continue pushing forwards. Might even catch Divine Spawn.
Yeah, trying to almost sell this fake, but Divine completely unawares. They hadn't seen this sort of look before. But if anything, it encourages his approach towards Zayn.
Kenapa uploadnya?
Showstopper as well, though.
Yeah, it's going to get tense. Both players stuck on the back of the side
Ada
now.
nggak
Ready for the swing, but not ready for the shot. Right to handle Forsaken, wait for the pop. Viola Jinx landed it. 3v3 now. Tension rising. To push through the door on the other side now. Rewarded. Nice from him. Man advantage and plant next on the card.
See the lockdown invested here. 2v3. The response comes through from Patman, but PRX are going to fight this. YU's found one.
Yeah, beautiful from him. They've got to react to it now. Something, it wasn't clean enough.
Oh my god.
Jing, what do you do?
He's caught.
What do you do?
They can just stick it.
Yeah. I can't believe it. YU just has to hold guard. And for Jing, he just has to stand back and watch as the 12 gets taken away in the final hour of regulation. Wolves take the lead.
See here, the purchase going to be
Berapa itu?
rough for Wolves, but they find that response finally finding the opportunity to invest the lockdown. I mean, it's another situation where you see Forsaken again, just digging so deep. Jing hitting the drive-by as well. Zach killed Rob with a follow-up here onto something. This is one ultimately that can bail Jing out in that situation. They're coming into this though Wolves still have a pit, still have a showstopper. Big tools to work with here in round 24.
Posisi ini sih.
Otek kayaknya otek.
Otep nggak?
The moment the silence will drop.
Otep ada nih, kalau mau otep.
PRX poised now.
Di sini dia akan lebih berat lagi.
Once again, it's like actually a big info there. Catch him drifting away here, not necessarily looking committed. It being Jing, obviously.
Gak ada yang mungkin ya gue tau.
On some of these set pieces, but PRX are actually
Gak ada yang mungkin ya. Gila.
It all feels like the calm before the storm.
Almost scratching their heads here. They invest the pit over, expecting maybe that with that information, PRX are rotating towards C.
There's the info, but are you ready for the hit? How do you play it for Lysor? Oh my god, he's going for the heroics. Oh, he went for the heroics and it worked out for one. Not going to get a second. PRX now finds stability on the site. Into the post plant. Something playing a little further ahead. He wants a one and done and back away. No one's given him that yet though. The time ticking for PRX here. This is good for them. Still ults in play though. Juicy has his. You've heard that invested. Flies on the site, but something does well. Gets one back to showstopper. Does one. Wait, something got lost. And a trade for Spring. It's into a 2v2. It ain't over yet. You look at the post plant for Devi and Ching here. Can they hold on to this? Paint shell posted by some seconds. They needed to stay alive. Devi digging deep. And they're not dead yet. They're not done yet.
Sih nggak mungkin ya tadi ya posisinya.
PRX bringing it
12-12 aja.
of the piece.
Iya.
We see overtime here.
Lihat tuh.
On the first map of this series. Insane exchange here throughout the second half. And PRX is showing a brazen approach.
No fear.
Almost their trademark game plan here. For Wolves, I gotta say it. Seemingly up to the challenge. Everything gets reset now for round 25.
Orang mana aja itu?
Those ultimates
Kan ada bawah satu.
Kata gua sih orang.
Reset as well.
Bali satu.
I mean, Wolves, a perfect position to close out now. Back onto the attacking side.
Ada orang Jawa nggak aja?
It's going to be critical on this.
Kunci.
They've read it really well here.
Same piece we've seen previously.
And it worked out well for a 2-2 trade in the end, but this time, Jing, something in unison. They're not going to let him even have a chance into this. Denied from the very word go. And Wolves want back in, they're taking the fight. He can't do that. PRX locked in on this. A 4v2. They should find stability, Mike. But Wolves look unwilling to back away. They don't want to go elsewhere.
They're expecting PRX to rotate away from this and give up the space, but PRX reading this perfectly. Still got both extremities controlled as well, so...
It's so difficult. They need a freebie. They need something, and it ain't happening. PRX looking sharp here. Right read, right shots.
13-12, Pak. Menang ya udah ya?
Belum, sekali lagi.
Draw first blood this set piece once more. The back of the C's nade. This time around, no casualties, no trade found. Able to stick the landing.
Siapa tuh? Siapa tuh? Sana tuh, turun.
Wolves actually call a timeout here. Ahead of the second round. In overtime.
So impressed by PRX's mental here, though, because they've been put through the ringer on this. Again, it's pressure on them more than anything, right? If you're Wolves, you've already done more than expected.
In fine form today. But yeah, again, usually with Wolves, you'd be talking about, this unknown quantity and, hard to read and stuff like that. The fact that we're talking about actually there is some familiarity between these two teams, it makes it a little bit more interesting because we've seen the counters to both approaches. PRX showing they're able to dismantle those defaults. Wolves also looking as if they're very adept at dealing with
Gila.
I'm with you on that one.
Again, you look at PRX, they are a legacy team here, right? And they have that one destination in mind, that final stop.
Close yuk.
The Wolves standing in their way of that grand final. And it's down to the wire between these two. So we go again. Similar scenes, it looks like, right? It almost looks like rinse and repeat, but Jing this time is fast. Oh, and he does get it. Lysol has gone down. It looked a little labored, but YU swings in. Oh, he gets a second. Hold on, Paper X held back here now.
Spike just behind the wall as well. Not necessarily a comfortable push out here.
That's
for
both
Wolves
players.
to control. Yeah, Divine and Forsaken. I have the spike. Will be given an opportunity to reset a little bit here, but find themselves in a 2v3.
Oh, I thought they were leaving Devi there. God.
Shadows traveling. So no paranoia. Going to be a little gap on a follow-up smoke here. Spark comes through.
Jason.
Juicy still got satchels. Spring still with a snake bite, so a couple of tools here at Wolves' disposal.
So tense now. You're gonna need someone to over-deliver, and they do! Paper X take it deep!
Wow, my God. Aduh. 11-12. Bakal panjang nih kayaknya. Nyampe 3 nih kayaknya.
Itu dia.
Aduh. Males nontonnya. Jelek. Iya panjang ini ya. Mager.
Standing pistol round, ah.
Why you never stand up?
Standing pistol round, ah.
He's legit and PC full, they should take it.
Map satu.
Ntar kalau ada match 3 kabarin gue.
Match 2 kamu nonton?
Gue tahu yang menang siapa, men.
Oh gila.
Gue tahu yang menang yang mana, men. Biasa. Idling. Ada idling.
Oh lagi kawan itu, kalau ngopi itu.
Standarnya kendor ya. Turun mulu. Kabarin ya WA gue ntar kalau 3 ya. Cuma kalau emang udah gak ada 3, gue usah dikabarin kan.
Najis tadi mana?
Kamar?
Tong, Najis mana?
Lagi nggak tahu. Masak.
Oh man, I was just getting warmed up.
Spike defused.
Red Bull gives you wings.
PRX main kan ya, gue. Valorant. Itu mah goat anjing. Udah. Hacker pack mah
sih itu yangnya Super Junior itu nggak tahu packer. Bareng lain.
Make sure you get your snacks, drinks, and bio breaks in. Or if you're like me, send in your own clothes instead to do the job. Let's get ready. Where are you going, Yoru? What do you see? We're going straight to the left. Oh, okay. Good form here. Good form. Don't shoot the clone. Are you running into a wall?
Clone lagi tuh. Clone siapa tuh, coy?
Got the pistol out too on top of that.
Kalau ini nih, predict gue menang fanatik ya.
Ya fanatik menang apa sih? Mungkin kita nonton ini. Apa ya? Lebih lagi. Ini kan berupa jam 2. Kalau 3 match. 2,5-3. Gua kemarin 5 match. Ini 2 gini. PRX main jam 2 kan. Baru tuh jam 4 gue. Enak aja sih kalau set. Kalau iya. Kata proper juga enak ya. Boleh lah ya. Oh visit champion tahun ini Paris ya. Apa tadi? Mau lihat lagi. Percaya kali. Goblok lewat aja. Mau ikutin jalur kemarin sih Agustus ya harusnya. Tapi kan ada EWC kapan nih? Untuk ke ini sama EWC kapan ya? EWC sport apa? Yang Arab. Ya itulah. Enggak beda. Tapi yang di sini apa ada juga kalau orang kan kemarin nggak ada kan kalau orang ini masuk. Oh si orang sih. Harusnya ada sih ini ya. Ini ada deh. Ini ada deh mungkin. Roblox enggak belum ada. Ntar gua ikut gua Roblox pendaki gua. Oke, kita tunggu gue balik dulu ke tempat gua, ntar kita main Roblox. Gue nggak sempet pikem lagi. Nilainya dari itu. Apa emang? Ya kayak nggak ada.
What an exciting way to start Masters Toronto here today. I'm now joined by PRX's coach Alex. Now, everybody credits Wolves as a team that has a lot of structure. How did you and your boys manage to find those gaps on Lotus?
I think it was a very close affair. I honestly didn't think they gave many gaps. We knew what they were doing, but I think we could have done it better. We did a lot of research. I mean, they have a lot of research on Lotus, so it helped a lot.
Nice counter-strike there, coach. Good luck on that too.
Oh boy, choo-choo, because the train ain't stopping. As PRX managed to pick up the win, 14-12 going into the OT there, and one has to wonder, does Wolves have what it takes to be able to force that map 3? Now, for that though, let's actually take a look at our Verizon high-speed moment. We got to give this one to YU because there were some great plays in this one, but Mimi, this one in particular shined through.
Yeah, and this is more about the round as a whole, because I think this starts so well for PRX. Something they did great on their defense was these active trap plays. In this one, they get 2 picks, but then in classic PRX fashion, I think end up overstaying their welcome just a little bit. They lose 2 players there, and then Wolves, after getting this nice double from YU, flicking up to the player on the off angle, Wolves goes on to win this round. And it was rounds like this, the ones that started strong for PRX, that Wolves bounced back, that made it look like Wolves was gonna take this game away in that first half pair.
I love the balance also of having Spring being more the one that is going to push from the defense and YU being the one that was in the lurks in this first half of Lotus. But in the end, somehow, even with them losing these advantages and whatnot, PRX manages to get back on the board and secure the map.
It's funny because they got theirs back. They gave away some advantages in the first half, but they were the ones winning a lot of clutches. They were the ones bringing it back in the second to push us all the way to OT. That's what you know this PRX team for.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are so many good things to talk about with this PRX team. One individual in particular, got to give it to the man himself, Divide. We saw some wild plays. This one in particular was nuts because my guy just walked out there, not a care in the world, Cook was like, you know what, hold this L with the sheriff. Pop got 2 out of the break.
So many 3Ks, so many very high impact kills that he had. He even got an ace, even though Alex's reaction was not showing that he got an ace. But it was this is one of the disadvantages that they won, and one of the reasons that PRX was able to secure this map in so many occasions was thanks to Divide's performance.
After PRX's failures earlier in this year, missing out on Bangkok, having the rough start to stage 1. A lot of fans were calling for Devi's head when they were asking for roster changes. They were saying that he should get dropped, they should find someone new, but I think he's really proved himself in this tournament now, stepping up in some of these later games, showing us the Devi that we've known has been so strong since all the way back at tournaments like Masters Copenhagen, where this team has made finals before.
Yeah, well, of course, a lot of pressure, though, on the other side of the stage for the Wolves as they're facing a potential trip to the lower bracket if they lose this next map. Let's actually go ahead and check in with Coach Fade to hear what he has to think as we get ready for that one.
I'm now joined by Coach Fade from Wolves. Now, this is the first map you've lost this tournament since that Sentinel series. What was the focal point in your team talk before map 2? And is there any concern around stamina if this series goes the distance?
I think we kind of show like nerfs again, once again, towards the end of first map. And I think stamina shouldn't be an issue because we had a 3 days break previously. So I think we will be fine.
I hope so. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, and there you see the results that you heard as well. Like, they feel good about their stamina for the Wolves, but a 14-12, that has to sting for them as they get ready for map 2, Mimi.
For sure, especially, Pea, like you were mentioning, this is a team that has not lost a map since the series they dropped to open Toronto against Sentinels. They have been on a non-stop roll up to this point, but now having to go all the way to 3 if they want to make it into the final here.
Oh, but there's such good maps for the side of Wolves. And now we're about to jump into Ascent. And we're going to see something for everybody that enjoys the map that we don't usually see. Is one team on one hand, we expect them to be playing with the Viper, right? Double controller. And on the other side, a double Sentinel with the Deadlock. That is, of course, if we do not see any changes in the agent select. And I think that we were highlighting how well Wolves was doing from their attack with those executes, how good the utility from Lysor is in that agent.
I really like their Deadlock, in particular on the attacking side. It's another map where they play super slow, just like you were watching on Lotus. But what they do well here is putting down their Sentinel utility on space they take, then resetting as a team and clearing elsewhere. So they're kind of putting down these little checkpoints to save parts of the map they have, and then being able to call back into that really late. I think a lot of teams miss out on those little details with juggling the Sentinel utility. They're great there. It's the same on defense. To me, this feels like a really strong map for Wolves to bounce back.
Yeah, I like the way they chop up the map, right? And really give themselves, like you said, a lot of these openings. The thing is, though, is that we have seen now a couple times PRX kind of feed the beast one too many times here. And I think with Deadlock and the way that this team can play this one, Mimi, this could be quite problematic for them if they're not careful and checking their P's and Q's.
For sure, yeah. They have to be on point with taking calculated risks, but it definitely paid off in the first game here. Let's take a look at the comps and PRX locking in that jet for something now.
Oh, they're going back to something, you know, more standard in this case. They've moved away from the Gecko and the Raze. I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I love, Mimi, the fact that they're sticking with this double controller and the Viper.
I really like the Viper comps on this map. I think they've always been strong on defense, especially Devi has looked great, but this is much more sensible in terms of the rest of the utility. You're going to put a lot into something. I'm looking at what he can do with the AWP, starting on this defensive side, and what protocols Wolves have to deal with that.
Another player that we have to look at is Patman. Very quiet performance in the first map, something that is very, very different from what we've been seeing for the rest of the tournament from him.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of responsibility here because I think like you're going to want that KO maybe to try and like flash a bit with the Deadlock there to prevent that utility from being a bit of a problem, try and sniff those things out. He's going to have a tall task ahead of him without a doubt here. Curious to see how this one plays out because really it feels like both teams are doing their homework coming into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I think that we also need to look at Forsaken. I think that one of the things that PRX have to take great care of, number one is YU, because he's going to be most likely the one that is playing outside of the pack, and that could bring some break some of the timings of Wolves that like to wait so much, and that is why I'm looking at these players to focus on.
Oh boy, all right, well, it's time now to get ready for map number 2. Toronto, you want to see a map 3? I said you want to see a map 3, Toronto!
No, I don't want to see map 3.
Let's send it back over to your casters who very much want a map 3. Here's Pansy and Hypot.
And you really can't blame us after map 1. 14-12, it tipped the way of PRX in OT. But what a wild ride it was to get there. Now on Ascent though, Mike, has this changed any of your expectations?
I mean, you look at this, really, the upset would have come from Lotus for me. If Wolves could close out here, PRX struggled domestically here on Ascent. They obviously have the loss to Genji previously here, sorry. So this is the opportunity now for Wolves to get back in control of this series and force a third, because Split should be an absolute barn burner if we get there.
Please, look, I
always delivers, man. A Split decider, always.
Oh, God. Okay, well, let's see if they can get there first. For PRX, though, in their minds, there's always been one goal, and it's the grand finals, right? This team put together, went back to the drawing board to rebuild.
There was a great line from Devi, I think, in one of the interviews, talking about every time he sees the champs LA finisher in-game, it haunts him. A couple of them actually, I saw them brought up on map 1.
So again, you've got to have been starving to truly understand hunger. And for PRX, they've never really got that first place. Not when it mattered. So for them, probably the best chance they've had in a minute's time. But still, it will be Wolves on the attack, PRX on the defending side. And something tries to stake his claim towards middle, but will be warded away.
Back on the Sheriff actually here. Juicy with a flash. Close and personal. Sean actually Forsaken caught on the retreat back.
Yeah, maybe not thinking someone had filled that space yet, but there is still 2 players on this side of the map for PRX. So Patman's still here. Jing's still on this side too. Slow and steady again for Wolves. And it looks like PRX wants this back, but it's just going to end up being a brawl, isn't it? They're ahead of the smoke, but what's the util on the corner? There isn't any. So Jing and Patman do really well. Eventually they trade it effectively though. 30 Wolves keep the man to the good, and they get the site for themselves.
Man to the good, something down to 34 HP as well. But 2 Sheriffs on the side of PRX here. Good pack a punch here on the retake. For a spam, actually, exchange back and forth. Still got a drone in play here for CFAT BB.
That is lovely. Gonna have to keep themselves tucked in on this. I think both potentially spotted, yeah. And that was huge for this. Something can't get the shot. CFAT BB off to a great beginning. But again, for Wolves, you got to make it work on these attacking sides.
Absolutely do. Talked about that being the main objective on Lotus. He did deliver.
One enemy remaining.
To repeat it here once more. Something. He can get that economy building, as Mimi mentioned, what he can get done with the operator potentially on the defensive side, always a factor on Ascent. Right here. Wolves have the tools to really prevent that from happening. Fairly invested here on round 2 as well. Respect being shown to PRX. It's only Spring on the Sheriff, Bulldogs across the board.
Blue Dog.
Actually, with that round 1, CFAT BB already halfway to the Hunter's Fury as well, so looking for further progress potentially.
But again, a reminder of that last map too. These rounds are free. When it comes to that second round, even just a Sheriff, even just classics. PRX will make something out of it. For now, though, again, it's a considered approach from Wolves, taking their time around the map, doing their due diligence, and CFAT BB will be working towards, as said, that, or I imagine probably getting priority on that here. Caution needs to be shown. That deep haunt over towards B, you should have seen it on the mini-map. Pretty indicative that no one's there, and the connection on the knife. So they should be pretty locked in on what's happening.
Considering set piece here around the cage from Lysol, but...
Are they cancelling on this?
30 seconds left. They need to find progress somewhere.
Dangerous.
Especially with players like Jing tucked up. Very deep position. Laboured, but Wyu comes out on top.
Yeah, the paranoia goes into sight, so they should be able to kind of springboard through this. Unless someone wants to smoke, now you can't. Now you're held back. It feels like the anti-PRX, doesn't it? But they still find a way through. Devi up and over the top, but at this point the plant's going to be in. So very difficult to find much surprise, even ahead of maybe that deadlock util. You've got to be cautious. Again, you can afford losing one player, that being Spring. The rest you don't want to lose, and Wyu took a risk, but he should be fine here. Yes, stability looking good. CFAT BB going to be building very close to that ult, and a lovely round in the end from Wolves there, Mike.
Initially, CFAT BB did have the spike, but Part coming through elsewhere. Still, fantastic progress made.
I got scared here, though.
Very, very worried, yeah. And the Bulldogs sometimes can be a little hard to tame. See if maybe not having that issue in that regard. Sticking the spray. Now, that purchase, especially with spring upgrading as well.
Wow, this is a nice spot.
Makes this round 3 doable here for Wolves. Two light shields on the side of PRX as well for something. And Forsaken.
Fighting on every front, though, PRX here. Pressure down B main, pressure down cap, pressure on towards A main. It's a really risky ploy. I guess it does burn some of that early util for Wolves, though, so there is that. And they're really committing the paranoia on that, too.
Cover going out.
Spring on the opposite side here.
If Spring even comes out positive in any of this, it would be incredible for him. Because in the meantime, look at where the spike's going, Mike.
I think if he can show presence, or something actually. Forsaken's walked all the way up as well.
They don't know about Forsaken. Oh, it's a quick beheading. Couldn't get the follow-up on Lysor, and it might be the green light to go towards B. Still a player to hold his divider down low, but still standing and still breathing on 35. He takes YU out of the equation. Now starting to flounder a bit. You can see it with Wolves. This was only their bonus, but still struggling to find the landing on this up against the 4 remaining for PRX. That's going to be dealt with. You look at that mid alert coming into effect too, but that's not going to find the value they want. And he has something clean with it. Lysor still making something of this. Spring still got his paranoia. He can get through here. Oh my god, it's risky off the back, but still. And now the smoke dissipates on. Oh! The smoke going down on CT opens up chances. Divide tries to find that second before the paranoia lands, but 8 seconds now. Stop it, Wolves! One by one, they are taking down PRX, and Jinx seems unaware of the possibility of Spring being so close. Smokes of his own and a couple of TPs. How do you divide and conquer this? I do not know. But all eyes drawn to that potential in the smoke. Jinx steps forward, smoke goes down, and Spring finds him! Mike, I can't believe what I just saw.
Conversion on the bonus here. Talked about the threat with all those Bulldogs. It looks like PRX initially come out with a win to catch this kill, but not just that, the information that Wolves are descending upon B site for some key pieces of utility, key damage towards Divide in that initial exchange.
You can finally
Pays off massively for Wolves. Get themselves the upper hand here to kick off map 2.
And I'm waiting with bated breath, right? Because that's a huge start for them. Because I feel like once you get PRX on the attack, they come into their own, right? Able to control the tempo, kind of do what they please. But if you can stake a good claim for yourselves, the opportunity's yours. YU. Quick reminder, the PRX are lethal no matter the weaponry. And that is going to be an upgrade for something. Might pass that over depending on the shield situation, but still, good stall here.
Oh,
and
yeah, drone cancelled.
Massive. Patman. Is he going to get to live here? There's a lot of targets that all could be sent towards, and yeah, grab. But Divide in the meantime, going to take down Juicy. Hold on, this is not completely secure by any means. They're in a 3v3, sure, but look at the HP of Lysor. See if a BB does have his ult, but I don't think he can get away from that default plant spot. So Spring waiting. Now sees that. Forsaken, are you aware? Gonna be held up.
Aduh, klik.
Back towards Heaven. The 2 players on site can focus towards short. Nice from Spring, but he goes down. And now Something and Divine need to come together in this. Somehow figure it out. The deeper off angle from Lysor was lovely. Leaving Divine. What a shot! You got one more of those. You've done it before. You had the ace before. The man is a monster, but he's got to prove it now and see if that BB has been ice cold in these. He knows the time, he knows the tempo. Oh, what is that from Divine though? A belting shot, and once again, doing the unimaginable.
What a clutch, man.
The Red Bull clutch here from Divide. Continuing to deliver here today in this series.
One enemy
God
remaining.
damn, just give the man a sheriff.
Gila.
Another 3-piece for him to add to the list. It's rough as well, the reset again. Default plant spot safe initially, but that position from CFAT BB to gamble and get a cheeky half defuse in or You can go ahead and stick it. It forces their hand, especially with the recon bolt being used so early on.
Now they start pressuring the point. Look at that deep line already adopted by something in that operator. Sit towards that. Prowler going to be clearing. No one nearby now.
My ult is ready.
And the ult gathered too, so a nice early step, but a fast mid-take coming out from the Wolves.
Potential to backstab this. I think they're reading into maybe some deep presses. Yeah, we'll catch the backside of something for sure. And the second player.
That is bravery. Why are you swinging that? Forsaken doubling down. It's a mistake and a punish. Is why you lap that up. And now that B-side looks so vulnerable.
Flash. We'll guarantee the cross. Juicy's going to find Devi as well. And actually, yeah, that might just be
Spike planted.
the white flag put up from Paper X here to hold on to these weapons. No point feeding into this potentially with Juicy. Getting close to that ultimate. Spring's actually already on the hunt.
Shadows
He wants to prevent any semblance of safety here for the remaining Paper X players. He's going to pick up a deep position in spawn though. There's still maybe a question mark if they're in towards market or in towards spawn. Well, they will progress any further, but yeah, I usually talk about discipline and that was a lack of respect to something.
Yep.
And did he even get a shot off? Why he was just so quick to that?
Yeah, they seem really aware. Again, this kind of, it's not necessarily that regional matchup at all, but, you know, scrim partners and the information on this ahead of that swing, it was really well dismantled. Again, Forsaken's fault as well, just felt it was too late to be going for that. There's no trade to be there. Desperation.
I think, yeah, again, once you notice the drone that's come forward, you're not just swinging onto YU there. Again, it's almost an expected response here from Paper X. They deal with the trip. They want to post something on a much deeper sight line. Again, the Prowler's sent through as well. So it's actually Wolves that have the upper hand in terms of the information game. It's a question mark for Paper X, actually. Who's behind that? And the punish, unfortunately, there for them. Will leave them with a 4-1 deficit now. Timeout called. There's a purchase. Considering the considering the rifles behind this, maybe want to make a play for an orb here. Something to offset that slightly.
Pikir jaket ini, jaket Fatalis.
Is Forsaken going to be riding the stinger coming into this, but already a fantastic start for Wolves. Looking composed.
Yep.
As well, just hearing from Faye talking about how much actually those days off have paid off, because they've had, like we said, with the comeback in Gen G, the resilience shown, that takes a lot from a team, even if they're all smiles and on their feet on the stage and stuff. Behind closed doors, no doubt, no doubt that reset absolutely necessary to continue here in Toronto.
Yeah, spot on. So for them, it is now just how long can you keep this up? How clean can you keep this game? They broke so far with that one round, but of course did have that timeout. You can hear the ults coming through as well for something. YU's kind of had their number on this B side, but it feels like they're getting the right read here. But you're going to go through the pit on this? No, brave enough to go for the ult orb, but that's about all she wrote. But that mid-cross is dangerous now.
Balik
I think I did just hear something.
Belum main Roblox, Pak.
Pop the knives. It's not necessarily looking like as bad a situation here for Paper X.
I must wait a
They're trying to navigate their way around the pit.
Looks like it, right?
The TP back here from Juicy to potentially collapse on B side very quickly with YU Spring.
What the hell, thing?
To do that to something! Can we just like highlight the fact you're doing that to something twice now? He's been outswung. If you don't think these Wolves are gunners, you are absolutely wrong. But now they've manipulated the map well. Now they want to maybe hit that cross back in again, and this is where those stingers are going to start suffering. You're not in the right place, but Jinx still going to hold his ground. Paranoia primed and sent down through. Tries to escape, but he gets out at least for now. Patman's found life, Story's got support. Spring, see that baby that's flying into water. Patman going nuclear! How's he just gone 4 there?
Puts himself in a deadly position and delivers here for Paper X.
I need to watch that one back.
It just jumps down. Able to get behind this so quickly.
Spike down mid.
Beautiful stuff from him.
Roblok ya, aku suka Roblok lo.
No semblance of comfort back in the coach booth whatsoever. Operator back in hand now for something.
2002, dia bisa ngomong.
All stacked up in mid now. The smoke will obscure
Buka-buka lah.
for the time being.
Jangan dia buka baju aja, Pak.
So Juicy going to try and pave the way.
Bisa nyari info tuh, tapi something nggak ke spot. Nice.
Actually, Red's it round the corner there.
And something seems unafraid at all, and he gets out of danger. Trying to combine it with a Hunter's Fury, but it finds no value really. And now Forsaken just stands his ground. This feels like it's fallen flat here for Wolves. PRX getting a good read and a good idea. It's going to need a hero to stand tall. Spring's done well towards Batman. Doesn't expect Devi, so close. Great trade for Devi there. And now just 2 remaining. Juicy and Sufat Baby in a 2v4, Mike. I mean, it would be a tilter.
I mean, they should find a straight 2v2 on either side here, but the issue being something is posted up. The operator. You get not many tools left to... Actually, no, I haven't said that. Recon and Juicy with a full belt almost.
Trying to send it for the fake, I guess.
30 seconds left.
Oh yeah, bro.
Nice idea. But it's not going to dissuade these players. They don't need to move.
PRX can sit in this formation now, and I think actually Wolves... Because they don't get a bite.
Yeah, it looks like a cancel.
I mean, YU 450, Spring 1350, and
10
Lysol
seconds left.
struggling to scrape together any funds here. So PRX will find their third. Keep things honest in the start of Ascent. Let's just see how the ultimates play here. It's only a TP for Spring, and as you can see on PRX now, absolutely nothing and a million miles away from anything, to be honest with you. So a slight advantage in that regard, but it's not much. I mean, Lysol going to be potentially the next key ultimate for the Wolves.
I've got to say as well, for me, good start seeing Patman find a bit of impact too. He's been a really good player for them.
Yeah, quiet map one as well, so seeing him come online, certainly a positive.
Oh, Forsaken, got the timing so right. He's so blind, so a good bit of spacing and trading from Juicy just to swing that. But the next layer to this is still something. There's no pressure towards middle, but he's very paranoid about it. They want in on this. Still not noting him. The stall's there. If they try and disrespect it, it's going to be brutal, and it is. Yet way too difficult on the way in. Juicy, what is that? You're 1 HP, you're not meant to be doing this sort of stuff. And now Spring left in a 1v2 as well. So unwilling to deny that scale up towards B was their right idea.
They're wrapping the spike as well. Both Jing and something.
This guy's paranoia, smoke, TPs. He's got a bit of kit here to play with though, Mike.
He's left guessing. Potentially, yeah, going to get himself a clean plant.
Shadows traveling.
With the smoke towards CT kind of implies he's not expecting this wrap.
Certainly does. TP should be noted too, that paranoia. What do you do with it? Yeah, a little interested on that, but the corner, slow peek, second going to get you past something. And he's going to take a stand on that one. But it felt like Wolves were so headstrong in wanting to hit towards that B site, but the scaling up just didn't feel right there.
Initially, that first kill was a Forsaken. Yeah, Forsaken gets caught here in the flash. Revealing area. Again, you look at the minimap at that moment, and there is a huge gap in the PRX defense. So happens. I mean, Juicy picks up a little momentum, but that kill there, he was down to 1 HP, and the shorty connects from here. Just as the door is about to close.
I think.
Potentially stealing that post plant for Wolves, to be honest with you.
Yeah, felt like it. And now Wolves starting to run dry, it looks like. Again, when we're talking about these sort of big stage games, it is that level of comfort on here when you're under the gun, because yes, they did lose out to, what was it, Sen early on, but beyond that, they've not really dropped a map for Wolves. They've been on that kind of momentum run. So now they're starting to hit that brick wall. right? You kind of expect it in towards these sort of games. The caliber just keeps increasing. I want to see how well they do in this. Obviously, they did great against Gen G. That, to me, was the tick in the box of authenticity.
Yeah, almost a turning point.
Yeah. Like, everything else, I'd be like, okay, maybe people underestimated them. Maybe they...
Yeah, because you have that step up again for playoffs where it's like, obviously, the stakes get raised. And we're not talking about elimination for Wolves, but certainly the caliber increases, the pressure definitely correlates with that. And then you step into a series versus PRX. Talk about Gen G being an international titan, but...
PRX, I mean, God, I'd said it
need no introduction when it comes to the international stage.
Truly not. And again, I think that because of their lack of, you know, let's say international trophy, that there has been that worry about them, how well they do, their expectations, but they are still a grand finalist team, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's just something that doesn't even need to be said half the time. But at this point, they've course corrected well. Everything back to where they like it. And for something, he's going hunting. He knows where the man is.
Yeah, Cam dealt with quickly. You see on the minimap as well, situation developing outside A site. Then the knife is going to have given that info across. Really juicy with a rifle here, and all of that if you may.
This feels very classically PRX as well, but a dangerous position for Forsaken. He could get outswung here, and he is on his own because you saw the rotation route coming out from something, so times it well to back away, and that sees obviously given a couple of seconds and actually plays back in something. You don't often see fights this deep on the map, but welcome to PRX, I guess.
Yeah, PRX just don't want Wolves to sit back and set up here, preventing any rotation back towards the B side of the map. Hatman still commanding this space, and actually Knife will reveal everything if he threw it.
I mean,
probably still knowing exactly what's going on.
Yeah, look at
the
30 seconds left.
Snakebite and the fragment.
Oh, this is an awful sight to have to try and approach. Basically dry at this point. Yeah, Juicy still going to get Jing down, but we're... Okay, guys, you were primed for this. And Divine looks like he's trying to do everything himself. What on earth is going on here? Something that's unfair. That's a bit of bullying, but I like it. 5-4 now, tipping the scales on their side. And I've got to say, Wolves looking a little bit shaken by this.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't want to say lost for answers, but unable to really troubleshoot with some of these approaches that PRX are displaying here on Ascent. Juicy, again, good for 2 on the way in here.
Yeah, surprise.
A moment where Divine can't ping down Spring.
PRX watch party loving that one, but 5-4 we go back through. Vi back in play. And it looks simplistic in approach, it looks direct, and something looks to turn this operator
into
a shotgun. I mean, he's feeling himself here. It's a really risky play. Now it's great target selection. Catches that baby just in towards the Aldrome. And he's still standing. He looks like he wants to absolutely pop up here. And he is. 1 by 1 they come. And 1 by 1 they fall. Can he find that final man as well? YU looking to try and take towards the site. But something's been dominant about this so far. The double swing. Position noted. Something's going hunted. Hungry for his 4-3 already in the round. There's not much to be done for YU here, Mike.
Especially on now. Solid idea of where he's at. PRX just want to decisively close out round 10 here.
No escape. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Something gets his 4th, and he is just getting scarier and scarier as the game goes on.
Like they're channeling into that 6th gear. Putting up now 5 rounds unanswered for PRX. We did start a 4-1 scoreline here. The tides certainly have turned. We'll actually draw out a 2nd timeout here for Wolves. And the opening stretch of Ascent. Desperate, I guess, from Fade to try and recover things here. Hope for a 6-6. Actually see Fat BB who want to really lead this dialogue.
Yeah, it's not Fade. This is the captain checking in with the boys. See that pressure starting to mount.
Because I guess this is the uncharted territory for this team, right? Is being on an international stage and coming up against opponents that you just can't crack through that first sort of line of defense. Again, this is where these guys really earn their money, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
He's coming up with the goods here.
It's all good and well to have those Cinderella runs, right? And it's why we love them. They're such fun to witness. But the reality is normally that fairy tale falls short. There's been very few occasions where it's gone the whole distance. You could argue EG at Champs was probably one of the only ones that ever made it.
The outlier, yeah.
That is it. PRX have been that fairy tale run in the past, but they never quite made it themselves. For Wolves, they have to face that reality now. How bad do you want it? Do you have really what it takes to push someone like PRX away from something they are singularly focused on? That grand final is what they want. Jing, gonna draw blood. It's beautiful and juicy. Not getting what he needs there.
And a tag or two, but Forsaken happy with that. Something will follow up here. YU will fall. Now, actually, regress here, but PRX will correct.
Yeah,
just seeing Fafimi now.
They're making it hurt, Mike.
Now, this is when it's rough to play against PRX. They know when to keep on pressuring. Don't allow you any say in the round. When you say in the half as well. That's 6 now. With no response.
Beautiful.
Didn't even look like that was going to land as well.
Simply lovely from PRX. And as I said, the pressure starts weighing on the chest for Wolves. It's still a manageable scoreline.
Absolutely,
still smiles. But we can see these rounds and they're feeling these rounds and there's aggression again. Something wants that deeper line. And he's got it for starters.
This is why it's so rough to play against PRX though. When they get themselves ahead, they know to not let up. Wolves can potentially find a 7-5 here. It will be. Big tick in the box.
Bang on. But that wherewithal, that discipline, that capability in the high pressure games now is the biggest test for them. Looking a little fraught here so far. Last couple of rounds just not quite been in the wheelhouse. And again, the timing on these knives, rather good.
Fragment to prevent anybody slipping the smoke, even though Devi on watchful guard here, tucked into logs, because PRX can sit in this formation.
Oh God. I mean, Devi's just... He does get caught playing ahead there. That is one thing that's worked in their favor. He tried to lean a little forward, gets punished. But Forsaken, the Guardian in this one, keeping them at bay. And look at who slipped towards the site in the meantime. Jing still here, doing the dance. Does it well. Takes down another. Forsaken popping off with 20 seconds. The leader for the Wolves side has to stand and he can't. Falls to Forsaken at 8-4. Such a commanding scoreline.
Really is. Wolves' resilience will be tested once more to try and come back here. You said 7-5, doable 8-4. I mean, it's a pistol round 2 potentially that makes this such a huge deficit to come up against.
Yeah, they've got their work cut out now for Wolves. This is a tough scenario. PRX singular in their goal, eyeing up that grand final, but they're not there yet. One more half stands in their way. So they need to prepare themselves. And it seems like we're about to send it over to Vansili with Sid City standing by.
Thank you so much, Pansy and Nightbot. We have a hell of a game so far, but I'm joined on the floor right now by Sid City. Toronto, give it up to Sid City. Sid City, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. The energy in the stadium is insane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the last time we had a chance to speak with each other, it was during an Americas matchup in LA. What's the vibes like here in Toronto in a sold-out Masters Toronto?
Yeah, I think it's insane because the East Coast and Canada hasn't had an event like this in a long time, and Los Angeles always has events like this. So the crowd, I feel like you guys are like super excited to finally be here in person and watching the games. Like, you guys are insane.
Toronto, you're excited? Hell yeah. And now you have some experience playing in Game Changers before, so you have an eye for skill. In this matchup so far between PRX and Wolves, who do you have your eye on so far?
Okay, honestly, at first I wasn't gonna say this, but after that ace with the deagle on that diffuse round, divide.
So does that mean Devi and PRX are taking a series?
Yeah, I mean, I got PRX rocket on my sleeve right now, so I think they're gonna scare us a little, make it a close match, but I think PRX is gonna, like, close it out. I'm sorry, Wolves. I'm sorry. You've been great, though.
Well, Wolves, you know what to do. It's time to... Thank you so much one more time, City. Let's bring it back to the game.
Silly sending it on that. He's such a bold man. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
he's actually been rehearsing that for the last few days.
That's what I've been hearing in the hotel.
A few howls, yeah.
Yeah, fair play. And they're going to need a couple because 4 rounds isn't many, right? PRX sat on 8. You can see on the Coinbase Econ report kind of just the lay of the land, really. And it has been a bit of the something show in my mind. He has elevated. I was worried after that first round with the operator. It didn't seem to phase him. He was right back into business.
Yeah, and I think the issue being now coming into the second half, you see the string of rounds. It's been collected by PRX. Wolves haven't had much of a say in some of these losses. Yes, coming down to maybe a 1v1 here and there, but all the crucial kills feel as if they went PRX's way. Like I said, we started at a 4-1 scoreline. Now, it being 8-4, a pistol and a round 2 can often seal the fate of a team.
Juicy on the line here. First contact made, that's 2 players, and a third now noted. That's a lot of info. Suka BB is being bold about this, but he's been revealed, he's been just about everything, but they weathered the storm.
Yeah, I think initially there, the further investment of utility implied that PRX were going to follow through, but maybe the Prowler catching on CUFAB BB made them think there's potentially a little bit of a stack.
The timing on this. Lovely timing on that, but something is free. A little bit of a dink though, going to do some serious work. The Spring's already down low, now even lower. Cleared, Forsaken, Divide, trailblazing their way forward. The A site is their goal, and the plant's going to be in.
Why you and CUFAB BB? A 2v4. A couple of members of PRX tagged up, but certainly doesn't swing this in Wolves' favour. Have to overcome the odds here. PRX just poised for anybody to step out. That's it. Wait a second.
Okay, it's not over yet, but YU's going to come into this as well. Jing's quieted him down, but CUFAB BB's going to see both players basically. He's got to know where they are, but he can't do enough. A desperate attempt to get them back here. But PRX take another step in the right direction.
On the brink of double digits. Again, as soon as they find, I guess, what they perceive as a point of weakness, they follow through. Wolves not able to even backtrack. Well invested here for round 2 as well. Don't want to leave anything up to chance. Rifles except for Patmen and Forsaken. Actually, Wolves set up in a little bit of a stack here. Flash in's only going to slow down the inevitable, it feels. Maybe toying with the idea of contesting that orb, but doesn't happen. I think PRX probably smell something.
There's a trap around that corner, guys, I'm pretty sure. Feels weird over there. Something looking to farm. If he falls, it would be a prized possession garnered.
I was curious there if Forsaken was going to show some utility on the other side of the map, because it's just Lysor, but Devi actually is calling the cancel on that.
That's one. There's more, and it's cleared systematically, one by one. The flash through of smoke is nice. CUFAB BB is already noted as well. Can't really fall away from the stairs. Jing already takes the angle. PRX looking locked in here, Mike. They are pulling no punches.
No, they're not. Again, showing diligence this time
30
around.
seconds left.
And that's when it really flips the switch. Wolves the ones to left, kind of to sweat in this scenario. to second guess themselves, but Jing, a third found and a 10th on the board for PRX. This buy round,
that's it,
is huge for Wolves. And this bonus even bigger for PRX if they can find it. Only the one casualty.
That you're gonna cry, bro.
So they come into round 3.
I think they're gonna cry, bro.
Flushed out in terms of the inventory. And Pac-Man actually just going to ride a Sheriff through here. It's Forsaken and Jing closest in terms of this ult cycle.
Cover going up.
Nothing of note for Wolves, but potentially a pace change. Just initially, Forsaken going to retrieve one orb. Trying to retrieve one orb.
Yeah, a couple times of asking. All good.
But don't have control over towards A main, so...
A little bit cagey as a start, isn't it? You can see the...
I mean, it's a huge ultimate to have in the bonus, so you know they're going to want to come for this orb.
Well, here it is. They've taken the taunt.
And actually, Lysor and Spring do peel away.
Now they've cleared B main. If you're looking at Wolves' side, they cleared B main. So they might leave YU here, but you can already see that rotation coming in from Juicy. He's going to try and pop himself over towards A.
PRX aren't dead set just yet. I think maybe going to prioritize towards short here to catch somebody out. They don't want to walk into this choke point.
No, and that's going to encourage a play forward, but denied Forsaken with the first blow. And it could be a lethal one of that Juicy. It's late, but job done, and Lysor does well. Tucked into hell, he drags down another with him. The walls aren't done yet, but Forsaken captured and held in place. The spike now left loose. With 20 seconds, he's got to make a miracle out of this. 3 players, Forsaken.
I have this fight.
Not going to get it. A lifeline for Wolves.
3 left standing as well, just an armor or shield to repurchase here for Juicy. Again, that was the bonus, so PRX is going to come back in, and because Pac-Man only brought a Sheriff to the party,
Spike down A. Spike down
it's almost rinse and repeat here. Not out of the woods just yet.
Welcome back.
Cannot get the ball rolling in terms of the comeback.
But again, though, this was something that was said about BD was building up his players, right? Keeping them confident, trying to keep them in the game. He's going to have to keep doing that because PRX don't stop. Even in their losses, they will still play confident games. And something taking space. Solo Endeavor. 2 players on the other side. BB and Lysor playing top mid off the back of that trip placed in as well. So they've got a lot to play off of here. A very difficult scenario. Pac-Man on that deeper line in case someone does swing. There's got to be those early protocols being cleared.
I mean, it is Duelist's nightmare to play into this composition. But Lysor dancing with death here.
They still have that trip. They can still have confidence behind that. But they've read it wrong to an extent, right? They're kind of falling for this fade pressure on towards B main, but we know where it's heading. PRX are once again eyeing up this A site. This is brutal. You got Juicy still here, you got Spring still here, but PRX are right at the door now. And away they go. Something looks the wrong way and gets punished. Spring does well. Great paranoia too. Tries to slow the roll here, buy time for these rotations. Pressure from main held back by the smoke, but Divide gonna lean forward. Lurch closer. Juicy play in the corner. Gets denied. Looks for the follow-up. No. Spring barely alive on 2, but he's still breathing until then. Down to a 3v2. Man to the good for PRX, and now Plant on their side.
We're going to be coming from heaven here. So BB a little ahead of YU. Nobody from PRX overstepping. They're tucked in right now.
Got to see discipline. That's a shoulder shown. Some damage made. So they could know 2 players off of this. That third is a problem. That third being Forsaken, but they're losing out on the sight. Couldn't quite get the follow-up. And PRX striding closer now. 11 rounds to their name.
Let's go. Match point.
A tough loss here for Wolves. Like you said, with the bonus being as well invested as it was.
1 enemy remaining.
Now seems daunting to approach this round 17.
God, you get that sinking feeling in your stomach,
yes,
don't
for
you?
sure, yeah.
Your money's rotten. You haven't really found a way to handle PRX. Maybe a chances existed and died on that first map, but they're not out yet. At 11-5 though. You can start hearing that music play, can't you? That 12th round looking likely. But in its way, good couple of sheriffs, Ghost, and a team with a whole lot of hopes here. But for PRX, they've got their own plan in mind. And that's a big investment and a big shot. Lysol lands it, so Jing's gone down. That's a weapon recoverable if they want it.
Yeah, and PRX actually aren't in a position to capitalize elsewhere. They're spread so thin. Spike not committed anywhere just yet. So that man advantage will stand for the time being. No weapon recovered though for Wolves.
Oh. Nice from Patman, big kill there on towards Juicy. And that knife should reveal at least one more, so do they need to turn away from this? Or do they just keep stepping forward? It feels a little headstrong for my taste, but it's PRX, you kind of know what you're in for here. Lysol was the one to do the damage. It looks like they're trying to trail up towards heaven. Something bulldozes forward. YU, great shot. 25 seconds, and Lysol still standing. Has to go above and beyond here. One down, he's doing the dance. Oh, it's so elusive and evasive to try and land those shots. Sufat Baby was so far away.
Spike planted.
Patman is low. Forsaken is not. I know. Oh, Hail Mary! Oh, for a second, I thought it was possible. But 12 found, and the final stand has to be now for Wolves.
This time, PRX able to wait out, navigate their way into this defense. Get everything they need. It comes down to a fine margin once again. The PRX undeterred in terms of the finances here. A couple of ultimates starting to rear their heads. On the side of Wolves, actually. A few members just one away from some of these key ultimates, but whether or not we'll even get a chance to see them. Juicy, Sufat BB, no command here from Patman.
Okay. Anti-setup though, which is nice. So they're still going to get a bit of a reward from this, right? It starts feeling very, very likely. Layers of ults though. Lysol could be in trouble here. Sufat Baby trying to get on site, but Juicy goes unattended, unchecked, and he's rewarded. Great kills on 2. Finding more would be mythical at this point. But for PRX, they are left in tatters. Mike, I don't know if they could do it, just these 2 players. Desperation play from Patman. Has got his man, but Wolves stave off what feels like the inevitable with 3 still alive.
Clinging to life here, the Neural Theft being the catalyst for PRX. They know they have to fight for sight then. I think Patman walked down to just a lick of HP.
Yeah.
No chance for them to sit back and try and defend that, but yeah, Juicy really the one to stop this from spiraling out of control.
One enemy remaining.
Second ping, paying off there.
Breaks the money.
Yeah, it does.
Still got ults though. I say ult. A scary one with something. He's had a really good map here. Can they deny him now? Can they stop it now? Spring forced away, looking a little shaky, but something's fallen.
He's caught on the trip. Nobody broke it for him.
Which is a little bit worrying. That could be a tilter for him there, because that was meant to be their kind of, I guess, main part of the piece.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a nightmare for a duelist to play into this composition, but you really need that second or third man in line. Deal with that sort of thing here. Juicy deals with Jing handily.
A bit worried there that he'd found like a, the dream gap to try and punish, but not to be. So PRX try and do what they can, and Wolves aren't allowing it. Patman does well towards sight.
Enemy remaining.
Sufat BB still on the back lines. Doesn't need to overextend himself. Waits for the swing. Wolves control this well, Mike.
Double digits. That's where I'll start.
That's where we start. Yeah. So it takes 1 round. PRX up to 12 here. And that is a frustrating one for something.
Yeah, again, just looking at the minimap, there's 2 members here down in Arch. The time that happened, and again, I'm not saying dealing with a trip and something goes wild there, but Bladestorm invested in that sort of round in particular. You never want to see a Jet having to invest a knife to deal with a trip, especially with 2 people in close proximity.
Find you.
But necessarily a big deal, all things considered.
Back to work though.
Looking for revenge up here.
Yeah, this time he wants in. See that BB playing top mid. Looking at the rest of the team split throughout. A bit of a default coming out from PRX. Maybe trying to catch some of the aggression. Jing's got to be cautious as well. Going to spot out Lysol. And this is a creep towards A though. Look at the pressure. Spring's in potential trouble. Does have his paranoia if he needs it. Investment of the ult going to come down on the other side of the map though. Juicy's going to clear and give away that there's no one here, but they don't know about Jing. He's been able to slip ahead early. They don't know about Jing, and now you do. Like a knife to the heart, but Spring answers back. Trying to... Spring! You madman!
Spike down.
Goes absolutely beyond all expectation, but it is a 2v2. Don't think it's over yet. Spike is there. It's picked up. Sent back away. Plant's coming in.
Look at the pit as well.
Oh my god, this is going to be down to the wire, isn't it? Divide disconnected towards A main. You have Jing tucked towards site. Spring.
Wait, just missed him.
God, the timing, unbelievable. Spring trying to play the game, and Jing now going to be doing the around of the world here, but they've given up position. This could be a mistake here, but they don't know about it. Obviously, they don't know about it. The pit's going to fall. And now you're looking at Jing. Divide strikes first. Why you? Hold on again. Can he take down Divide? He absolutely can! Out of nowhere! Walls digging deeper!
Spring tees it up. Why you closes out with a Red Bull clutch here to keep Wolves alive.
I can't believe that. Look at this round. This from Spring. You know it's a mad play when even PRX don't expect it. You know that's a mad one.
Don't interrupt. 3 bullets left for YU.
That's the killer instinct I want to see, though. To be able to do that against 12?
Oof. And I gotta say, frustration, rightfully so. They give up the pit. They play themselves out of line of sight of the spike. Yes, it needs a miracle, but it's Wolves you're talking about here.
It's still only 8 rounds. We said we start paying attention at 10. They've broken the bye, but it's still PRX. They could do it with classics. But something seems so unwilling to let go of this mid pressure. He wants it so badly. So Juicy's got to be careful. There is a world where he could get timed on this one. Those stingers, very, very deadly. We're going to go down. Camera here. Doesn't need to overstay his welcome. Could do with some support on CT, though. They do have an open path straight across. Divide going to deny that. No one's going to be able to help out YU here. Does get to at least evade the siege, but they are right knocking at the door. PRX have a way forward.
No damage done just yet towards the side, but actually now YU going to have his hands full.
Oh, outdone! PRX making something out of nothing, and maybe a mistake made by the Wolves. Plan's looking like it's coming in. You're looking at that late mid lurk as well coming out from Jing. Juicy tries to make something of it. Takes away Forsaken, but the number's still good. PRX hold the advantage here. Divide could be timed in this, though. It's all going a little topsy-turvy. And of course, this is the round to do it. Lysol asked so much of. 3 defined, and he falls. Round by round, kill by kill. A track by track. That final stop by that final destination is now locked in for PRX.
Further elevation on the side of PRX today, overcoming. Quickly become a fan favorite here in Toronto. Still, got to come away from this series with their heads held high for your Wolves.
Yes, absolutely.
The PRX deliver an absolute banger here. And a 2-0 victory over Wolves.
Yeah, spot on. Again, a lot of credit to Wolves, and they're certainly not done yet, but again, call them the uncrowned princes, call them what you want. PRX have another shot at this now. It was never about just getting to a grand final, though. It was always about that final step. The first to lock it in here in Toronto. Who will they be standing up against is the big question, but a great performance here. 2-0, Mike. They've got to be happy with this one.
Absolutely. And for me, Patman and Divide being 2 key stakeholders here for PRX.
Divide for me was absolutely on the money.
I mean, he even said this is a guy that's been under so much flack.
Yeah.
Because again, it typically doesn't slip into that same sort of ethos and the visual check, I guess. It's tough to really see his role within this roster and I guess the play style, but man, today, shining bright.
Yeah, as I said, making those big plays is his value alone in some of these maps.
Yeah,
exceptional.
How do you look flashy alongside some of these teammates along the way? So, yeah, beautiful stuff.
Really, really good stuff. And I keep just waiting how far this goes for them. As I said, as soon as it's ready, we will head down to that Verizon post-match interview. I'm sure we'll be jumping down there in a moment. Yeah, it does seem as though we are ready. So let's hear from the players themselves. Down with you.
It's been 2 years in the making, but PRX are finally back in another grand final. I know, Jing, you're a man of few words, but I gotta get your reaction on this because, JJ, this is your third grand final on the global stage. How does this compare to LA and Copenhagen?
I think now we have like more experience, so hopefully third time's the charm. Hopefully.
And speaking of that experience, you know, your very good friend Forsaken and you've been through a lot. What's Jason like as a leader these days on stage?
I think he's doing a really great job as being a leader. He's like keeping the whole team hype and keeping all our energy good, and I think he makes everyone really excited as well and really hyped. So yeah, I think mood is really great now, and hopefully we carry on the momentum to grand finals.
Okay, I have one very important question. The crop top. We have been promised the crop top in Pacific. We haven't seen it. Now you're in a grand final. Are we bringing out the crop top finally?
I mean, like I said in the press con, if we win grand finals and my team wears the crop top with me, I'll do it.
All right, okay, we need to get PRX behind this crop top. I know one person that might be down for this, of course. I'm gonna get told off if I don't get David here on your thoughts. First of all, Davai, your first ace on the global stage. Was that fun?
To be fair, I just want to win the round. But now I got an ace. I mean, thanks to you guys, and very happy.
Anyone you want to dedicate that ace to? You know, it's your first one. It's a special one.
I mean, I gotta dedicate to my bro Pujan. I think he's here now, right?
I'm glad you mentioned him because I think, of course, you have a lot of fans. You know, they're all here very keen to get your pictures and signatures. But I do think you can probably flex a little bit about just your fan base because it's not just these guys out here. It's FNS. I saw Tens and Kaide wearing a PRX jersey as well. So how grateful are you that all these people in the community want you to win?
Yeah, I mean, we are very thankful that we have so many fans across the world. And even yesterday, Tens and Kaide and Mel came to our place. So it's nice meeting them. Probably it's Tens buff, you know? So yeah, hopefully we do well in grand final and hopefully not second place again.
Oh, I hope so for you as well. Everyone in Toronto, as I let him sign a few more things one more time for your first grand finalist, PRX.
Final talk. Hitung kali ya, suruh hitung kali ya. Suruh hitung kali ya. Gila, men.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You might have heard of going through a little upgrade by Tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in.
Gila.
Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Lalu yang nggak di-expect tuh pada menang aja. Baca. Wolf itu aja masuk ke upper final itu dia udah jarak horse banget aja. Gak ada yang nyangka aja.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time.
Lihat gitu. Tangan ini.
Ya anjing. Maju lu.
Gelap aja.
Anjay, setup warung. Real setup warung coy.
Ini.
Gila sih. Ya, kita tidur nyenyak ya malam ini. PRX fans. Senyum kita tidur terus yang smile anjing. Sok itu gila, gua di map 1 sih agak ketir sih soalnya.
OT 2 kali ya?
OT sekali. Kayak tuh main 2 kali menang kan. Cuman di Lotus ke Boko OT itu dia harusnya enggak sih harusnya menurut gua bisa lah itu di close sebenarnya. Beberapa kali blunder aja mereka coba ya udahlah gitu.
Tapi aja
ya ini tadi di map 2 juga ini dari pas mereka dari mid ke B itu itu blunder itu nggak tahu sih terlalu buru-buru banget anjing blunder cok. Kita nggak bakal nonton nyampe subuh lagi kayak kemarin karena emang tempatnya juga beda dan gua ya beda lah gitu setupnya dan pegel juga lah, kasihan juga gitu ya, kalau gue sendiri sih nggak apa-apa gitu, cuma kasihan yang lain yang nemenin gue gitu. Oh ya paling segitu dulu untuk
banyak juga live chat
banyak lagi lah dari Twitch. Tapi kita lanjut gue pegal live lagi nanti paling pas gue udah balik ke itu 3 harusnya gue udah di sana sih buat nonton final. Gue sudah ada ya, tungguin aja.
Ada apa?
Udah di sana gue udah balik maksud gue. Ntar kalau gue udah sana ya kita udah bisa lagi bantuin gue lagi ya. Kemarin lah, gue kan masih di Act 2 tuh kemarin baru ketemu Monoko kan. Palingan nih nanti lah ya. Itu aja. Nah, pasti bakal gue tamatin kok, tenang. Oke guys, paling gitu dulu ya untuk malam hari ini. Thank you sudah nonton. I love you guys. Yeah.
Oke, Mandi.
Nah, tes. Oke guys, gitu dulu untuk live stream malam ini ya. Kita fans PRX bisa tidur dengan nyenyak. So thank you sudah nonton. I love you guys. I love you PRX. I love you Jason, Devi, Something, Jing, and Patman, Alex, Mind Freak, all of you. Kok gini? Nah, pokoknya kita tungguin grand final tanggal 23 guys ya. Gue bakal live lagi. Nah, nyala tuh flash tuh. Jadi tungguin aja, oke? So, gue Rifim signing out and Roja here.
Bye.
Bye-bye.